All right, we'll begin with our chairperson's report. But before I do my chairperson's report, I would like to bring up Melanie Wilkinson to give her 30 seconds. I have decided to look at a sergeant at arms for our meetings to ensure that we try to do better with time and the likes and conversations. So Ms. Wilkinson will be coming forward so that she'll give everyone an opportunity to hear what she will be doing moving forward in the meeting. Ms. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Chair Daly. Good evening, everybody. Should I go up to the podium? Sure. All right, once again, woo. Good evening, everybody. I have a microphone voice in my chest itself, so sorry if it may overpower this microphone. So just to reiterate, I am one of the most recent members to this community board. My name is Melanie Wilkerson. I will be enrolled as a sergeant at arms at these monthly public board meetings, which for those of you that are seeing online, hello. I'm here essentially to just help ensure that the pacing of the meetings goes as scheduled, to be an additional face to you all, to greet you and to help advise on any questions or needs you have in the space, and also just to promote increased structure and process for these meetings in general. So the struggle is real with the mic. Okay. To, increase structure. And so what that means is over the course of the next few months, we will be troubleshooting improved ways to, of course, enhance the virtual experience online for those of our members that are joining us that way, as well as members of the public. It's also important related to the fact that we are in a space that is not our own, that we are managing the time effectively. And so just please be mindful of the fact that myself, as well as the executive board members in the front, will be diligent to ensure that these planned agendas do follow as structured of a schedule as possible to ensure that we are hitting the agenda items at hand and leaving out in a timely fashion. You may see me in the back row, and I would just kindly ask if everyone could refrain from sitting in the back row, as I'll be back and forth in that area. I may have time cards for the executive board members to help guide for time. So I would just kindly ask that if you do see me flag a time card, so please be mindful that that is an indication to wrap up what you're saying. That relates to any guests that come up to the podium and invited speakers as well. Please be mindful that timeliness is going to be a very much more attended to point of structure for the board. So thank you all. If you have any questions or any feedback to relay about structure, please find me in the back with the red hat.
All right, thank you, Ms. Wilkinson. All right, my chairperson's report has a few things on it. One, the first I want to start, first of all, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to, I guess, this month is Domestic Violence Awareness Month and Breast Cancer Awareness Month. From a personal story I've shared every year, my sister was 33 when she succumbed to breast cancer. And so we want to be aware, be cognizant. I did ask that board members wear either purple or pink to come out in support. Thank you to all of those who did. I do see a few. I don't know if the email did go out for board members to wear purple or pink in recognitions to both. I was watching something today that says that if you have 8 women in your circle, at least one of them has been affected by breast cancer. So something to look at either personally or somebody that is very close to them. and domestic violence is just the same. NYPD will tell you that domestic violence is one of the crimes that is most prevalent, especially within our 6-7 precinct, and a lot of us don't talk. Men go through it just like women, right? You do have some violent women out there, and you do have some violent men out there. And men, we have a tendency to know not to say anything and just accept it. It is what it is because we're men. Same thing with breast cancer, where men don't believe that they can get it, so they don't get their checkup as well. If it's prevalent in your family, please note that it can happen to you. Board applications are coming up. If you are a 2-year appointee, that means you're appointed in 2023. That means that you need to reapply, and application will come the beginning of next month. Also, if you're a 1-year appointee, which some of you are, if your applications say, if you're appointed this year, 2024, and you're a 1-year appointee, you also need to resubmit your application. If you're not sure, please, you can contact me or the board, Ms. Frazier, Ms. Farah, to find out whether or not you are eligible for that. There are a couple of workshops coming up this month. One big one is deed theft, right? That was yesterday, actually. I missed that. So hopefully people are able to attend the deed theft workshop. On the 31st, there will be a SLA workshop during the day. If you have any questions, you can speak to Chair Bakradine from the Commerce Committee. Also, on October 24th, there will be, and I think I saw Miss Lewis, right? Did I see Miss Lewis? Debbie? Oh yeah, she's in the back. So she'll be talking about that a little bit. On the 24th, there will be a workshop around downstate and what's happening with downstate here at downstate, and she'll discuss that a little bit more. I want to say welcome back to one of our board members who has been recently reappointed, not reassigned, to our board, Ms. Smart. Welcome back. She was reinstated at the end of last month. Please note that the information on the City of Yes will be kicked back to individual community boards to make recommendations. We had made recommendations which went up to the appropriate channels. Now, the bar board had voted, and so that it gets kicked back to each board member, so the information that Chair Afray had prepared has been sent to all board members for you to review. If there's anything that you want to add to that, the next bar board meeting will be the first Thursday, because the first Tuesday will be election. So I think that's November 7th. The first Thursday which will be at Borough Hall. If you want to testify, you have to schedule beforehand to do that. Again, I'm asking all community board chairs, committee chairs to present their discretionary ask of monies for spending. So far, I have not received enough from the different board members to try to get that money so we could vote on for the board. We are still is Ms. Lewis on here? Tricia? We're still looking into our move. We looked at several different places. The primary one right now is 2733 Church Avenue. That was, we asked for members to come out and look at the space. no one came out. We'll follow up with another ask for different board members to show up to the space to see what it is. We're also looking at other spaces along the same strip to see if they would fit our needs. We made a $750 allocation to this weekend's event. Although this weekend is the event that will be happening on Utica Avenue, Chair Oni will be discussing it more in her report. I'm just beseeching all members to come out and support. And the last thing is that all board members are expected to join at least one committee, preferably more than one. I did look at the Education Committee, which had the most number of board members to be part of that committee. However, 0 members of the committee showed up to the spelling bee on Monday, right? Are you part of, I know you were there, but I don't know if you're part of the committee, right? Exactly. So as part of the committee, you were there as well. Okay. So this Ms. Oni was not, and you were there, so that's 2, right? And I believe the Education Committee has 14 or 15 board members on it. That's the one committee that has the most. And so we're not showing up to the committees. Second of all, there are about 4 committee members who are not part of any committee at all, right? I did try to reach out to 3 of them. I did not get a response. No, correction. I reached out to 4. I got a response from 1. Okay? We need to be part of the committee because it is a requirement to be on the board. And if you're not part of a committee, then it's also grounds for bringing up on not fulfilling your duties as a board member. So please, again, I ask for you to join a committee. We have minimized the amount of committees for you to be a part of. With that being said, just a helpful reminder, 2 minutes, 1 minute rebuttal. That's it, right? If you have spoken once, please don't speak again unless you're responding to something that somebody said. And also, please respond only to the chair, not to the person that you're speaking to. Okay? With that being said, I'm bringing up, are there any questions relating to my report? Yes, Ms. Belen. Come to the mic, Ms. Belen. It's hard to hear you. The event in Utica will be talked about by our second vice chair and also chair of social services. This will be this Sunday. This Saturday. Voting at Borough Hall. Borough Hall at the Borough Board. So each month, every chair and every council member has to go to Borough Hall to talk about issues that relates to Brooklyn. And one of the votes was about the city of Yes, that was kicked back to the community boards for us to make recommendations to DCP on what they're going to do.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Any other questions from my report? Seeing none, let's bring up the District Manager Frazier for her report, and welcome back.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening. Good evening, everyone. As the chair mentioned, this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a time set aside to reflect on breast cancer research, prevention, and treatment, and to support patients, families, and survivor. Like the chair, I lost a sister to breast cancer, and I have a sister that's is a survivor. Unfortunately, she's battling it. So this is very serious. I encourage all my sisters and brothers make sure you take this very serious. So as we observe both breast cancer and National Domestic Violence Awareness this month, let's remember breast cancer and domestic violence are two issues that impacts both women and men. For my report this evening, I report on the activities of the office. And I'll outline the various tasks and responsibilities undertaken during the summer months as I focus on some of our key areas such as team management and project oversight, community engagement, and our upcoming mid-year review. So we coordinated the summer schedules to accommodate vacations and ensure adequate coverage to the office. As some members may have heard, I was away from the office for an extended time. However, I did check in regularly with the ADM to assess team morale and to address any concerns as we continue to foster an open communication environment. I did initiate a planning session with CB17 regarding CB17's upcoming capital and expense budget, where we set some timelines and assign some responsibilities. Mr. McCabe will give his report. However, I want to emphasize also the importance of submitting your information by the 19th. We do have lots of forms in the back. Please make good uses of it and let your voices be heard. Complete those capital and expense budget form, very important. We're currently conducting a daily review of our planned community fair. We've really put a lot into this fair. As the chair stated in his report, our spelling bee was last Monday, and even though it was a city holiday, the office was scheduled to be closed, but both myself and the ADM reported to the office to ensure the success of the event. And as I've always said in the past, district managers and assistant district managers are only paid for 7 hours. So anything we do over the 7 hours, we're not compensated, but we're always happy. I'm always happy to give of my time to this community. Kudos to Ms. Grandison, if she's here, and the students who participated. I have to tell you, the students were brilliant. And what's encouraging, after the spelling bee, a parent walked up to me and gave me a big hug, and she whispered in my ears, "Thank you. Thanks to the board. My son is autistic, and this was something that I wanted him to participate in." And every child walked out of the board's office with a bag, a gift bag. So kudos to the members of the board who supported and the education committee for doing such a fantastic job. So we are now focused on our next scheduled event, which is Saturday. Hope to see many of you out. Currently working with the chair of the Block Association Committee, and I am reviewing our 311 calls from this community. Very important. This is something that I've been looking at and always wanted to compile a list of what type of calls really comes into 311 on a daily basis from our community. I think we had about 35,000 calls. I think NYPD knows what I'm talking about. So most of it, noise complaint and other issues. I encourage you to please, we have forms in the back every single month. Utilize the forms. Let us know what your issues are, what your complaints are, so that we can address it. I have an open line of communication with all city agencies across the city of New York. So we are here to work with you. I encourage you to become a member of the board so that your voices can be heard when we're voting on issues such as the capital and expense budget. And I'm also happy to report that the turnover and absenteeism in the office, I have 1 minute, we're finally getting back to normal. Our ADM is now a permanent member, a permanent staff of Community Board 17, which allows me the freedom now the freedom that I always wanted to get back to the more important issues of this community and the board, and not to focus on the phone calls and the walk-ins and everything else that was happening. So let's work together. Let's make this happen. Thank you all for coming out this evening. If you have any questions, I'll take it now. If not, I'll yield the floor back to the chair of the board. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Are there any questions relating to the district manager's report? Seeing none, let's move on to the committee reports. We'll start with budget. Followed by commerce, followed by education and youth.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dan McCabe, the chair of
A little
the
louder, Dan.
budget committee, Dan McCabe. Unfortunately, I wrote my notes and forgot my glasses. So my chief function is to make or have made the community board 17's district needs request for the city's capital and expense budget. This is an opportunity for the community to directly petition and persuade the city to fund projects that we deem essential. Paper questionnaires have been distributed in prior meetings. They're available, a survey is available in the back. There's also a QR code, which looks like this, that's available in the back. So you could scan it and directly answer the questions on computer. I don't know what it's called, via your modern technology. The chairs of all the committees have also been supplied with the survey via email. And we're asking that anyone, all the committee chairs, all the members here, and anybody who is on the meeting virtually to fill these out. So far, we have 32 unique requests, which is better than last year, but there's a lot of needs out there. We also have a lot of standing things over the years that we can repackage for next year. All submissions are due on Friday, the 18th, but I heard that it's Saturday, the 19th. That's very generous by both Ms. Fraser and Ms. Farah, which is Saturday. Then we will compile these. We have a meeting with the city's Department of Planning to shape up these demands. We'll get them into form and submit them to the city after further review by the board by the 31st. Please, the forms are in the back. They're online. I'm here, Ms. Fraser's here. Whatever you need to do, please get your requests in, because if we don't ask, we don't get. And there's a lot of getting that we'd like. And I'm available for questions either now or at my seat or in the back. Thank you.
Thank you. Please make sure to fill out those items in the back and support, and each committee chair should take one back to their committees for the committees to fill out as well. Two things that we failed, both district manager and myself, we failed to make part of our report. One, the posting for the community associate is up. It should be up on the website. Am I correct, ADM Farah? Is she still here? It's still up on the website? All right. And also to note that in this coming week, I think tomorrow, we'll be looking at two college. We're working directly with Medgar Evers College, Dr. Zulima Blair and Miss Venice Isubashi to hire 2 college-age students to come and support the office. So again, we have the community associate. If you know somebody who's interested, please ask them to look at the website. The criteria are all there for them to look at. Commerce Committee, Chair Bakradine. After Chair Bakradine, we'll have Education and Youth, who's not here, and then Housing.
All right, good evening, everyone. Hassan Bakrdeen, Chair of Commerce. So we had our meeting last night whereby we had a special invited guest from the Department of New York City Department of Small Business Services. We did invite the newly elected or newly appointed Commissioner Dineshall Gross. She was unable to come. She had a competing event at the last minute in Queens. However, we did have a gentleman named Harris Khan, who is her Deputy Chief of Staff, who really was able to talk about all of the amazing services that they have to support our small business community, particularly on the MWBE front as well. That is one of our initiatives as well, to increase the number of MWBEs in East Flatbush, not just on the city level, but also on the state and potentially on the federal level as well. Just wanted to also mention a few things, and I'll try to be brief as I can with this. We have established our Commerce Subcommittee, which is where all of the hard work gets done, all of the things that we talk about that we want to do. So I'm happy to say that we had our first meeting actually about maybe a week and a half ago on a Sunday. And we find that that's a way for us to really hone in on our initiatives and making sure that our focus is where it needs to be. So I'm really happy about that and thank our Commerce Committee members for being part of that as well. We did 2 very important walkthroughs in the community. We started on Notion Avenue, starting at the junction all the way down to Beverly Road, that was conducted by Mr. Jambiro Morris, who's not here tonight. I'm a little surprised by that. And then I also went with my Commerce Committee member, Celia Bellin, and we did a walkthrough of Avenue D from Albany all the way down to East 53rd. I'm gonna tell you, we took pictures and we talked to our small business owners, and it was really very, very eye-opening. And we're laser focused on revitalizing those areas, making sure that we get sanitation in there, making sure that we determine what we'd like to see in our community. So I just wanted to mention that, and that's a good segue into one of our wonderful Commerce Committee members, Ms. Allison Martinez. We talked about putting together a small business community assessment, whereby the community gives us their input on what they'd like to see their business community look like. It could be your wish list, whatever. We haven't sent it over to you yet, Chair Daly, so we'll have you take a look at that for approval before we get it out. But the idea is we really want to make sure that we really want to talk about what we want to see in our community, what we like our businesses to look like, the variety, all of that stuff. So I'm very happy about that. We have created our newsletter. It's already out. We did one for last month. We're doing one for this one. We restarted our small business spotlight, which is highlighting the businesses in our community. It's really a profile spotlight sheet. So you'll be getting that as well. We are also, the next walkthrough we're doing, I think, is on Utica Avenue. And we'll be inviting the Department of Small Business Services along with the Brooklyn Chamber and a few other agency heads as well that support small business services. Lastly, guys, I promise you I'm coming to the end. The creating, or what we talk about, the initiatives, and this is one of the things that Mr. Osney Lewis was on the line, Chair Lewis. He and I talked about this incessantly. This board has talked about this incessantly about why we have a lot more Black and brown businesses in our community doing the kind of work, construction throughout our community, and why don't we get those jobs or those contracts? So we are laser focused on that this year. We want to change that narrative. We want to make sure that they go through the process, let them know that these services are actually available to them, and they're available to them at no cost. They will walk you through that process, and we're going to be there to make sure that you guys are in touch with that. So if you know anybody who is interested in being part of that effort, we're going to be reaching out. But thank you guys so much. I don't want to take too much more of your time because we have a lot going on, but thank you guys. Any questions for me?
All right, any questions for the Commerce Chair?
Okay, good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Grandison, you'll go after, okay? Chair, Dr. Renault? Is your co-chair here as well? I did see her. You want to come up with her as well, or? All right, no problem.
So just with the essence of time, good evening, everyone. Proud public school teacher, Carol Renault. And I'm stating that so we know we have like other jobs here, right? I'm the co-chair of housing, along with Nicole Julius. If you can stand quickly, Miss Julius. And we ask that you join us. Housing and any of these other committees will not be what it is. We're not going to reach and meet our goals unless you join us. The Housing Committee meets every first Wednesday. You can get on the mailing list with Ms. Fraser, and that information will be sent to you. Our last meeting was held on Wednesday, October 2nd. Issues rectified included snow removal, and Mr. Heredia is here. Some of our elderly are asking with assistance when it comes to snow removal. They can reach out to Mr. Heredia at Farrah Lewis's office. Other issues included assistance for the Department of Aging. In CB 17, a lot of our residents are over 50, over 65. So we're directing these residents to the Department of Aging because we have a lot of services that are available that we're not making use of. Other communities make use of them. Part of our goal in the Housing Committee is to connect the residents of CB 17 with a lot of the housing organizations that exist and have existed in Flatbush for over 40 years. One such organization is NHS. And at the last meeting, we had Mr. Tyrone McDonald, who was our guest speaker. A lot of what he discussed, Tyrone usually fills us in here at these meetings. And a lot of times when we reach out to these organizations, it's a little bit too late. And issues such as foreclosure, deed theft, tenant issues, we need to reach out to these organizations much faster. Some of my neighbors are losing their homes, and they're not only losing it to gentrification, they're losing it to foreclosure. So NHS Chair Afray is putting the information online. We have the phone number, we have the website that you can reach out to. In the housing news today, I see you, I'll be brief. Governor Hochul announced 71,000 new apartments, which includes 21,000 affordable apartments. Organizations such as NHS, if you reach out to them, they will help you with explaining what's in these, what's involved, and help you with the application as well. And lastly, we have our email address, which is up there. We urge you again to join us. Join us at the committee meeting every first Wednesday. Just contact Ms. Fraser and get your email on, give her your email. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Are there any questions for our housing chair and Black Association co-chair? Yes. Can you use the mic, please, and state your name?
Hi, my name is Chad Lopez. I was just asking what was the name of the organization? NHS, I think you said? Uh-huh. Okay. No problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Yes, please step to the mic.
Good evening. Does the Department of Aging and the Neighborhood Housing Services, do they assist tenants or is it only homeowners? Mhm. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Youth and Education, Chair Grandison.
Good evening, everyone. Gail Grandison, Chair of Youth and Education. And just to be brief, couple of things. I just want to thank publicly all the parents who showed up on Monday as it was a holiday to bring their kids to the spelling bee. Small crowd, but great time. So I want to thank those parents personally and publicly. And then I just want to give a shout out to the schools and the kids that participated, and they were first, second, and third prize. So we had Ebenezer Prep, Bailey Williams, second prize, Jolia Baptiste from PS 189, and Tafari St. John from Ebenezer Prep at third prize. That was for the second and third grade. Then for the fourth and fifth grade, we had Elisa St. Eloy and Antonia Bell. I'm sorry, Elisa is from PS 189, and Antonia Bell is from PS 244. We were short one. That student did not show up. And from the sixth and seventh grade, we had first prize went to Emperor Clayton from PS 189, Jada Elliott from PS 189, and Joanna Alonso from PS 189. So congratulations to all those kids who participated and took home the first, second, and third prizes. Our committee meeting meets every second Wednesday of the month. Looking forward for you guys to join online. And the next event that the committee will have is a Kahoot night, or actually a day or afternoon. And for those who don't know, Kahoot is an online game-based, it's a learning platform. It's used in schools, at work, and at home. And it's, it's very educational depending on the subjects. So we will send more information later around this and hope to see everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I forgot one thing. I also want to thank Ms. Frazier, Ms. Oni, and Ms. Farah for their participation, and especially the office staff coming out on Monday as a holiday as they were off. I thank and appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you. What's your name? Yeah, the one that's turning around. What's your name? You're a board member, yes? Yes. You have a teammate. You just differently. Ms. Mohammed, Ms. Grandison, Ms. Grandison, Chair Grandison. Fatima Mohammed was also present at the spelling bee. Ms. Mohammed was also at the spelling bee on Monday. Yeah, we're gonna have to make it a little more active, because the second time that I didn't realize that it was you. So I'm sorry for that. I'm working on it. All right. Thank you, Ms. Mohammed. We have land use, then parks. Is Ms. Lusant here yet? Oh, you, okay, I see you. Okay, good. So land use and then parks? And you can give all your reports at the same time, okay?
All right. Good evening, everyone. Kwame Afraid Chair Land Use. On Thursday, October 10th, actually, not October 10th, October 3rd, we had a Land Use Committee meeting. Huh? Hear me now? All right. Better? I'm trying to avoid the pop. On October 3rd, we had our Land Use Committee meeting, and the topics of discussions for the evening were the new local law 172/2023, which is some provision that's been given to us by the Department of City Planning. It's a collaboration between the SBS, which is the Small Business Services, and the EDC, which is the New York City Economic Development Corporation. They're developing the industrial areas, which include our areas in CV 17. They are taking a plan to examine the industrial areas across the city, including our district, which aims to support the industry or the industrial sector by collecting data on businesses, economic conditions, and land use. The key components of the plan is to survey businesses, industrial businesses and stakeholders, review its land use provisions and economic trends and infrastructure and recommend to the government support and initiatives. So that's something that's probably gonna follow up with all the other city initiatives that have been happening recently. Focus more on the industry areas, which if you're familiar with our district, you know the areas I'm speaking of. The final version of the plan will be completed by December 31st, 2025, with updates every 8 years. After that, we discussed the technical memorandum, which is an update to the City of Yes CHO. We were all given or distributed a piece of information that updated certain provisions. One of them was removing the sunset provision to allow off-site bonus generation for affordable housing in our 10 districts. The other one was to limit the campus infill proposal to execute public housing projects. There was some confusion on what these things actually meant. An email was sent out to our representatives at DCP. So at the next land use meeting, they'll be there to further clarify on what these actual changes mean. What I've gathered is that they're trying to reduce possible housing in the districts, but ultimately, according to them, there won't be an economic or environmental impact. We also discussed the installation of several flood sensors. At the time of the meeting, the count was 9 across the district. This data is going to be used to give or monitor and manage street flooding in our neighborhoods. It's supposed to help our policymakers make decisions with street flooding, but the conversation continued at the Land Use Committee meeting, as it often does. The cure sometimes can be worse than the illness. There are some concerns about potential premium upgrades or what the impact could possibly be for our insurances in the neighborhood. So as we get more information on that, we'll follow up. But that's where these conversations happened. And lastly, well, second to lastly, there was a rendering release for a potential, which I don't really think is a potential, for a building that's going to be going up at 2720 Church Avenue. You know it now as the Associated Supermarket. It's 17 stories, approximately 56 units. There's going to be parking and provisions and all the stuff that's necessary. It is being built as of right. And the permit for the building was actually filed in August of 2022. I'm not sure if the people that are operating at that facility are aware that this has been happening, but their drawings are in and have been approved, and from what I'm being told, will begin construction soon. Lastly, I do want to bring some attention to an event that happened last week on October 10th at 7:45. A truck carrying some dumpsters took over some overhead power lines. I'm sure everybody knows. Con Ed was quick to, get to the scene and try to repair that. The repair was done by 11 o'clock. It did affect about 9,700 customers and the traffic lights on whatever was connected to that grid. So if you didn't know what happened, that's exactly what happened, when it happened and when it was resolved. And that completes my report.
Thank you.
Questions?
Are there any questions for the land use chair, Chair Frey? See none. Let's move on to the next committee.
Oh, I just want to introduce Melanie Wilkerson.
Oh,
Right?
Yes. Good evening, all. I'm here to reintroduce myself once more. Melanie Wilkerson. I have been appointed as an interim co-chair of the rezoning hybrid committee with land use with Chair Afray. So it's a pleasure to meet with you all this evening, and please do defer to me if there are any questions about joining the committee or committee meeting dates. To reiterate, Chair Afray, the land use and rezoning hybrid committee meets currently on the first Thursday of the month, correct? All right, so just making sure you all have that awareness. Thank you.
thank you. Chair Louison?
Good evening. Just two quick announcements. The Parks and Beautification Committee survey will be available on paper this Saturday at the office, and it's available online via the CB17 website. Also, the It's My Park at Railroad Playground event is on November 2nd from 10 to 12. You can email bkcb17 parksandbeautification@gmail.com if you'd like to get involved. It'll also be in the chat. Nothing for bylaws. That's it.
Housing? I mean, not the housing, the
Bylaws.
move. You haven't discussed? further?
No update.
Okay. Just that the emails, one that, I just saw the email, but they were charging 9,600 for one location and 7,500 for the next.
Yeah.
So that was just it. With the daffodils, they'll be out on Saturday, correct? At the community event? For-
Saturday,
for
November
community-
2nd.
For distribution as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right, so those of you who like daffodils, please do come out, get your daffodils. Is there a sign-up list or just come out,
Yeah,
first come, first serve?
yeah.
Okay, all right,
Thank you.
thank you, Chair Lewison. Public safety and transportation, followed by sanitation and environmental.
All right, good evening all. On the public safety and transportation, in particular, I want folks to know that on August 19th, whether you're aware of it or not, the MTA started new camera enforcement on all of the SBS, or select bus service buses, which are on the B44 in both directions, Nostrand Avenue and Rogers Avenue, the B46 SBS bus, as well as several other boroughs, including the Bronx and so forth. But what I want to tell you about that is that if you are in the bus lane and that bus catches you, you will get a $50 fine that comes from the MTA and New York City. And those things rack up very quickly. So be mindful in the bus lane. Don't be in the bus lane. Don't think you could try to avoid it or whatever the case may be. It will just automatically come to your house and it could rack up very quickly. If a bus happens to catch you at least twice in the lane, you get one ticket. If another bus comes and they catch you again, you'll just keep getting tickets. So I've heard of some people already racking up in one day because they sat in a lane maybe for about 15 to 20 minutes. 2 buses or 4 buses came by, they got $100 fine. So be very mindful of that. Also, they are roving fare control officers at several of the major stops in terms of the select bus as well as the regular buses. Pay your fare or you will be embarrassed. That's all I could tell you. All right, continuing, I want to give kudos to Mr. George Tate as well as several other members in terms of pushing the initiative to having the DOT fix the sidewalk and the street repair on Glenwood and Albany Avenue. There was an issue there for several years. It's finally gotten fixed. We're going to monitor it, see if it was effective enough, and hopefully that alleviates some of the strain of when it was snowing, having a particular dangerous situation coming off of the bus and sliding in the street or sliding on the sidewalk. So that ends my report.
Question, Chair Westcott, please forward to the mic.
Yeah, Westcott. Question. What happened if you drive on the right side, on the right-hand side, and you're in the bus lane to make that right-hand turn?
The right-hand turn, they have a system to avoid that. But again, if you're sitting down in the lane, there is accommodation for the right-hand turn. What we're talking about is people that is sitting down in the lane and they actually show you when the 2 different buses take your picture on the ticket, on the actual ticket that is sent to your house. So basically, you will have to be sitting down in that lane for whatever period of time for at least 2 buses to take the picture Once that is done, you automatically get a $50 fine sent to your home.
No, I'm speaking about you in front, you're in that bus lane.
Yeah.
It's to come behind you, and you have to
Right.
wait because the light is red.
Yeah, if you have on your indicator and
Okay.
your right turning indicator,
Okay, thank you.
then you are fine. If not, you're blocking the lane.
All right, thank you. Chair Hill? Followed by Chair Montserrat Oni.
Good evening, everyone. I have some positive news to report. Through working with Chair Farrah Lewis's office, we've gotten some positive results coming from sanitation. They have recently replaced about 14 trash bins from Albany to Utica on Avenue D. And through talking with the representative from her office, we are also trying to get a presentation done for our November meeting. And we're planning to have someone from sanitation appear for that meeting. They are definitely being very helpful with trying to address the issues with sanitation. They have been contacting sanitation vigorously. And I mean, these trash bins isn't the end all be all of things that need to be done, but it's definitely a sign that they are listening and they are reciprocative to what we're trying to do here. We're hoping to really do something more significant with the sanitation officials being here for our November meeting. That's when they were going to be available. They weren't available for this month's meeting. And we are hoping to make a more significant effort with their being here for our next meeting. The issues that have been coming up as far as the dumping grounds is something that they're still working on. They have cleaned up certain areas, but these areas are quickly being bombarded once again with waste. I think the more prudent thing is for the police department to be involved in these particular areas, to hold these people responsible. I think that's going to be a new avenue that we have to address, unless the problem's going to just keep repeating itself. But that's where we currently are. I see someone has a sign for me. Okay. Thank you. So that's the update that we have so far. Any questions?
Go ahead, Member Smart, please step forward, followed by Member Westcott.
Hi, good evening, Antoinette Smart,
evening.
board member. I would like to find out if the sanitation is going to be making any attempt to donate some of those trash cans that we are being told is going to cost us $50 each to the homeowners. That's my question. They did it with the little compost bins. So is any effort being made to donate any of those to the community?
That is definitely a good question and something that we can definitely have addressed when they are here for our next meeting. Yes.
Thank you.
The name is Westcott again. On Avenue D, between 38th, 37th, all the way down, the basins, there's an order to each one of those basins, what you call those basins, cat basins. So I appreciate if you have the sanitation look into it.
Okay, no problem. If you could just, I'll just speak to you afterwards. Okay, no problem.
Please state your name.
Hi, I'm Yvette Humphrey. I'm talking in regards to the dumping. I live around the cemetery. It's constantly dumping every week. You said they addressed it. What type of address are you talking about? Because I requested cameras.
What kind of cameras?
Cameras to, like, you know how they have cameras in the area to, for crime or anything else? This is, dumping is a crime. Because I see people coming with U-Hauls dumping 20 and 30 bags around the cemetery from their construction. And then these semi trucks are dumping their whatever waste they have from their trucks and everything, and then beds, TVs and everything. So when you say address, I'm trying to figure out what do you mean by address?
Well, I just want to say that I definitely agree with what you're saying, that there could be certain measures that are put in place, and I've definitely raised those particular concerns of what you just suggested. And what was suggested to me is that when they come here in November, they're going to be here to actually respond to all of these things. And I think that would be a prudent time to address it with them specifically so that they can answer those questions, because it should be a simple issue just to put some cameras in there, have some people patrol that area. I think that that's a real simple solution to this.
The only reason I'm asking is the other day, an inspector came around on my block and wanted to fine us regarding papers on our side of the street, across from the cemetery, but it's all the dumping coming across over our side of the street. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I don't want to fine, because we clean up all the time.
I understand. I agree. And I think that's definitely a valid point to raise to them when they're here next month.
All right, thank you. Chair Oni? Chair Graham?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Montserrat Oni, Chair of the Social Services Committee. First, want to say that the Social Services Committee meets on the fourth Monday of every month. You can email the office or you can email CB17 Social Services to find out more. Starting in January, we're hoping to host a monthly virtual health session. So it would just be an online workshop on various health topics for people in the community to join. If you're part of an agency that might be interested in hosting one, whether on diabetes, HIV, cancer screening, et cetera, we'd really love that participation. But we'll also be reaching out to some of our partners over the next month or so to solidify our schedule for the 2025 year. And then obviously I also want to talk about the board fair that is being hosted on Saturday. It's hosted by the Social Services Committee, but it is a board fair. And the idea is really to just get the community to understand all of the resources that we have available. We have over 40 agencies, elected offices, et cetera, that are registered to come. We're going to be having food giveaways, health screenings, services for the elderly, services for people who are autistic. There are flyers in the back. Please take some, please share them with people you know. If you have a business, please take a few and give them out to your community. On Monday, I walked up and down Utica Avenue, both sides of Utica Avenue, from Church to Linden, and then on the Tilden side of Church, and then also Church, and spoke to every single business owner in the area to let them know this was happening, let them know to get involved. Majority did seem excited. I will say many of the business owners expressed wanting more contact with the community board. A lot of them didn't realize that even though they're on Utica, they're part of the more western, right, western part. And they didn't know that they're part of Community Board 17. So board members, I spoke to some business owners that really want to hear from commerce, transportation, sanitation specifically, but also other committees. So board members would really be great if you can come, if you're able to participate on behalf of your committee. Budget, we want to have some budget worksheets for people to, comment on participatory budgeting in person. And, the event is from 10 to 3. I really think it's our first annual board fair. Really want as much participation and attendance as possible. So please help us spread the word. Again, if you know elderly people who are trying to figure out how to get health insurance, like we have people there for them. If you know people with autism who are trying to figure out how to get home health aides and stuff, we're gonna have so many resources. So I really, really hope that we can get this information to as many people in the community as possible. And we hope to see you there. And thank you again to the precinct for helping us to secure the street closure. We really appreciate you. And we hope we're going to have a safe event. We had a meeting with the precinct. We're going to have some community officers there. It's going to be good. Also, it is October, but thanks to global warming, it looks like it's going to be well over 60 degrees. So I don't want to hear anybody say they didn't come because it's too cold. Put on an extra scarf. We want to see as many people there as possible. Thank you, and I will take questions. October 19th, this Saturday from 10 to 3. No problem. On Utica between Church and Linden.
And say the
Flyers
time.
in the back.
Say the time. Say the
Between
time.
10 to, I just said it, between 10 to 3.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear.
Any other questions? We sure do. Oh, we sure do. Yeah. Please email district manager. You can also email again CB17 Social Services, but I would just forward you to the district manager. But yes, we still have space for people to participate if you would like to.
Yeah,
Alright.
is that another question? Did you have another question, sir? Oh, no, just fixing your hat.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Personnel, Chair Graham. Followed by folks with services.
Good evening, everyone. Rose Graham, Chair of Personnel. First, I want to extend congratulations to
Chair Graham.
Assistant.
Pull the mic down. Yeah, there you go.
First, I want to extend congratulations to Assistant District Manager, Ms. Farah, for completing her probation. Congratulations, ma'am. So the job posting is completed, and we have resumes from 2 college students from Medgar Evers College. Medgar Evers will fund one of the college aides, and Community Board 17 will fund the other. The students are quite capable of doing the work that is needed at the board. But we have all plans to make sure that we have folks who are able and willing to work and stay on purpose with purpose. There's also a plan to hire a community associate, and so that the work of serving the community will be done with fidelity. The intent is to, again, secure qualified candidates who will do the work at hand. And there is a meeting tomorrow of the personnel team, and we will keep you posted as information becomes available. And that is my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Chair Graham? Seeing none? Postal Services? Then Deputy Inspector, just come forward. You're next on the list.
Hello, everyone. The only report I have been keeping in contact with the post office. And the manager there said there haven't been any complaints. But what I'm saying, if there's anyone have a complaint, please see me in the back. This is my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That ends our committee reports. Is there any committee that did not get a chance to say something that they needed to say? Seeing none, we'll do the agency report. We have BPL. I did see that in the back. Are there any other agencies that I missed besides BPL? Okay. Deputy Inspector Kosak?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Deputy Inspector Rachel Kosak. I'm the commanding officer of the 67th Precinct. I think I was here for the May meeting, so I've been in the precinct now about 6 months. So I'll just give you a brief update just on crime and where we stand within the precinct. I was hoping not to be one of the people to do that. Can everyone still hear me? Am I in the right distance from this? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So we're struggling a little bit in crime over the last month or so in the 6-7 precinct within the community. If you take a look, I don't know if anybody here goes online, our CompStat sheet, which is our crime data, is public and it's published every week on Mondays with updated information. So right now we're seeing an increase in robberies and in felony assaults. And unfortunately, this kind of goes with the October theme of domestic violence. It's been a part of the crime where we've really seen an increase. It's about 20% of our robberies right now for the month. And when it comes to felony assaults, it's about 60% of our felony assaults. So for anyone that doesn't know what a felony assault is, a felony assault could be an assault on a police officer, an assault on a public servant. So that could be a nurse, doctor. So we have SUNY Downstate within the precinct. We have Brookdale Hospital. You'd be surprised how many nurses and doctors, unfortunately, do get punched in the face during the course of duty. So that individual will be placed under arrest for that. And anytime somebody is injured with an object that can cause serious physical injury, which is pretty much anything depending on how you use it, right? So we're actually seeing, I would say, a record number of an increase in domestic violence. For the past month, when I take a look back in 10 years worth of data, we're seeing a the large majority coming from that. It's a lot of first-time offenders, which I almost see as I would say a positive because it speaks to the increase in reporting, exactly like, the chairperson said, a lot of people are afraid to come forward. But overall, for domestic complaints this year, we've seen a tremendous increase from everything from just your threats for domestic violence to your injuries and domestic violence or your domestic robberies. So what I've done since coming into the precinct, we've increased our domestic violence team. So that allows for those officers to not only do community outreach, but also for those officers to follow up with those victims and make sure that they are getting whatever services it is that they need, whether it's how to stay in that situation safely or how to get out of that situation safely. So we went from a team of 1 sergeant and 4 officers. We are up to a team of 2 sergeants and 9 officers to handle that increase in workload that's coming in. Besides that, we're also up in grand larceny of autos. Those are your car thefts. Motorcycles seem to be a hot one this season to get stolen. I don't know really how you secure those, but don't leave your keys sitting inside of your motorcycle. If there's somewhere you can park it privately, please do that, whether it's a garage, blocking it with a car, whatever you can do to protect that auto. We are down in a number of categories. So burglaries we're down in grand larcenies for the year so far. And when it comes to our shooting violence, we're down tremendously. So we're down in homicides for the year. We're down in shootings. We have 22 shootings for the year. That's compared to 29 at this point of the year last year. So the 6-7 precinct has been seeing a downward trend in shooting violence over the last few years, and we seem to be continuing with that. In addition to that, shots fired incidents, that's when somebody does shoot a firearm, but it doesn't strike somebody. Very large decrease there. We've had 44 of those incidents for the year compared to 67 of those. So we're down, we're down 23 of those specific incidents. So I think we're out there, we're doing the right work, the officer in the right locations, and it's really paying off in terms of crime reduction there. The final thing I'll touch on before I get my 1-minute sign thrown up there, we're working on rebuilding the neighborhood coordination officer program that had been, I think we had about 4 officers when I first got there. We just added another sector. Tomorrow night is the community council meeting for the 67th precinct, 7:30 at the precinct itself. Parking's a little bit challenging, but it goes on for a few hours. So even if you could stop in, you'll have the opportunity to meet some of those officers. So we have a total of 6 right now. Eventually, we'll bring that up to the 10. I just want to finish working on identifying the right officers because of those officers, like Ms. Frazier brought up 311s. 311s are typically chronic issues. That's not something you call in one time. You have the person that blocks your driveway. Typically, if your driveway is getting blocked, you live near a school or something like that where there's always people coming in and they're somewhat rude and just block your spot or block your hydrant. So what we are able to do then with the NCOs, they're able to do some of that follow-up. Those noise complaints that come in, and we get a number of noise complaints where it's the same neighbor blasting music or the same neighbor who's always talking, those officers can come out there and kind of work with you and do mediation. So again, if you want to come by tomorrow, you'll be able to meet some of those officers. If you go onto the New York City NYPD website for the 67th precinct, Google it. I don't know the address off the top of my head. You'll be able to see who some of those officers are. It's not fully updated though. I don't personally control that website. Once the paperwork goes up in, typical city bureaucracy, it comes back down and it prints out. So you would be able to though get the contact information for our community affairs officers who could link you to those specific officers for your area. Any questions from anyone?
Yeah, there are a couple. So let's start with first Vice Chair Prasad, then we go to Member Thomas.
June Prasad, First Vice Chair. Inspector, I just want to follow up on, did we receive a court date for Lotus Lounge?
Okay, so Lotus Lounge, I don't know if anyone's familiar with it. It's over just off Utica and Farragut. We actually had, when I talk about this reduction in shooting violence for the precinct, outside, one was inside the location this summer and one was actually outside the location. I'm not saying it originated from Lotus Lounge, but it was right outside of that. So there's a number of things over there though, between bars, there's a lumberyard they have parties from. So I know those 2 incidents aren't the only issue. So this started prior to me coming to the 6-7 precinct. Inspector Saliba had started, it's called the nuisance abatement program process. They were served at the beginning of September. They are not fully shut down right now. They were served with an order telling them they can't sell unlicensed liquor, which obviously they were in violation if we were able to get this process started. So they were already doing something illegal with inside of there that we were able to prove. So it's not fully shut down yet. Somebody from the business, not the owner themselves, actually called me this week to sit down. They want to have a meeting just to kind of go over the proper way to run the business to avoid any sorts of issues. And for anyone, and I've had a meeting with some of our club locations. you know, a lot of this for safety in clubs, it really does boil down to security. So if any of you have you know, a nightlife location, a club, bar, lounge, it really does hinge your success on who your promoters are and who your security is. So yes, they've been served. They are still open. They aren't actually holding events though right now. So we'll see. The court dates have been going on. They keep adjourning it. So it's not fully shut down yet.
Member Thomas?
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming this evening. I just wanted to, this was a comment. Sometimes when there's a change of guard, things slip, and I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge and thank you guys for keeping the Erasmus area of the community peaceful during the Labor Day weekend, because that area gets extremely crazy with mass camps.
Which area was it? I'm sorry, I didn't.
The Erasmus area,
Okay,
not far from where you.
Yeah, no, I couldn't hear that part. Okay.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to say thanks for keeping the peace going in that area.
Thank you.
Appreciate
So Labor Day weekend, we modeled it exactly after what was done in the prior years. And I was fortunate to work in Brooklyn South the last few years to see it. And they send a tremendous amount of resources to the 6-7 precinct to ensure everybody could celebrate safely. And by and large, we had a very safe Labor Day weekend within the community here.
Sorry. Ooh. A member online asked, good evening, I have a concern regarding obtaining a crossing guard on Nostrand Avenue and Avenue D. There's a charter school there that has 170 students and it does not have a crossing guard at the busy intersection. The school's leadership has made a request with the 6-7 precinct, but they were told that there's a shortage. That intersection is very busy. And there was an incident with another student just up the block. Please advise us how we can escalate this need to make sure that the students have a crossing guard to ensure their safety.
So school crossing guards are unfortunately a very limited resource. This is not just within the 6-7 precinct. This is citywide, coming from the 63rd precinct as my prior command. It's a similar issue. There's a hiring issue. I know that that's something that's come up with the community council, not the community council, the city council. We basically, I can't speak to that specific intersection. I don't know it off the top of my head in terms of where it stands in the ranking system. But basically we kind of rate these locations based on the type of school that's there. Like the assumption is when young children are going to school, that they're likely going with parents. Older kids that are walking might be more at risk. Depending on where it is, what the history is in terms of vehicular accidents, pedestrian struck. So an entire analysis gets done on that. Are you able to share that person's contact with me after the meeting? If someone could send.
Do we have a contact?
Yeah, if you could, that way we could just kind of follow up. I'll have my traffic sergeant take a look at it. But unfortunately, without new hires, it becomes a difficult thing to fill and to shift around.
Okay. Are there any other questions for, yes, please step forward. Member Smart?
Hi, good evening. Antoinette Smart again,
Oh,
board member. My question is, have the new NCO officers been assigned to the communities? Because I find myself calling someone that's no longer on my beat to make reports in my community because I have no idea who the new NCO officer is to my community.
Yeah, so right now, and I just assigned 2 additional yesterday. One got transferred, which unfortunately was out of my control. I don't know, who were your NCOs prior to, do you know? Okay, yeah, Prudent has a new assignment within the precinct, yeah. So that comes down to like when you go on the website, it's not fully accurate. So right now, if you live in Sector Boy, which is Flatbush Gardens, that area, that general area, we have NCOs assigned to it. They're also going to cover the area that's north of that, like the area that covers the precinct. Sector Charlie, which is like our Rutland Plaza area, all the residences in the 90s area there, that's Sector Charlie, they have NCOs. 2 of them are in Sector Boy and in Sector Charlie, they are newly assigned. When I say newly assigned, they were told yesterday, welcome to the NCO program. So we have to get that information out. Sector David, we have 5 sectors within the precinct, and Sector David was filled. That's your Church Avenue, and when you go south of Church Avenue, like Farragut, Foster. So Adam and Boy will be covered, unfortunately, for right now by 2 officers. Sector David and Eddie will be covered by 2 officers. The program's going to expand. I think I need till the end of the year to do that correctly. Because when I pull people into the NCO program, I also pull them off of patrol. So I have to continue to balance my patrol squads to make sure that we can also effectively handle 911 jobs. So that goes from 2 sectors to 3 sectors right now. We'll get the others filled. I want build the block meetings to start again. That will start in the new year. Their sergeant was already told, start looking for venues in each of your sectors so we can get these rolling again. And with that will come social media posts where you'll have the names and the contact information, the phone numbers, the emails, everything that you need for your specific officers.
All right, thank you. Any other questions can speak to the deputy inspector in the back. We need to move forward. So anyone who has another question, please step from deputy inspector or Detective Benjamin. That's right, Detective Benjamin, right? You could have a conversation with them in the back. Thank you. BPL?
Hey, good evening, CB17. My name is Tana Evans. I'm from Brooklyn Public Library. I am a regional manager, so in this district that covers the Rugby branch, the East Flatbush branch, and I'm joined with the Clarendon branch manager. So I have some talking points, and I brought my glasses and I typed my notes. We are honoring Hispanic American Month. So please visit our website. We have a lot of Latinx culture, literature, and of course, highlights with bilingual concerts. Over the past year, BPL has worked to expand the number of ESOL classes. So as far as Mill Basin, we have some in Cortelyou Library, which isn't in CB17, but it's within the proximity. Similarly, we have our Ready Set Kindergarten program, which is a program for 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds to get them prepared, 3 to 5, and their caregivers. It's at 20 branches around Brooklyn and online. They meet each week so that they can enjoy stories and activities designed to help you and your child get ready for school. October 19th, which is Saturday, which might be competing with what the board has going on. Ooh, what that was. I hope that wasn't a mic. I'll pick that up. I know it might be competing with what the board is doing on October 19th, and we do have representation from Brooklyn Public Library that will be on Utica Avenue on the 19th. But on the 19th, we have, in partnership with the American Library Association, BPL is spearheading a national day of action to support freedom to read. So book bans and challenges in the United States has reached an all-time high in 2023. And so we have a Freedom to Read Day, which is from 10 to 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 19th. So there's also going to be musical and performance in addition to hosting things around the borough. So I try to keep that short, and then I'll pass it over to my colleague, Sarah Zimian.
Hi, I hope everybody could see me.
Yeah, put it down.
Yep, putting it down. Hi, my name is Sarah Demian. I am the branch manager of Clarendon. As you are well aware, Clarendon is closed. We are hoping for an open date as soon as possible. In the meantime, we are doing outreach events. We are doing 2 bookmobiles a month. And we are going to do outreach in front of the library as well as at Target, Aldi's, YMCA, senior centers, and other places around there. So we look forward to seeing everybody as we do these events. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions for BPL? Are there any other agency? Any other agency that's, yes. You are with whom? Whom? That's not an agency. Well, it's not an agency, city agency. All right, no problem. You will get a chance to speak, but just not in this section. Are there any other agency? Okay, with that being said, where's Debbie Lewis? I did see her. Where are you, Debbie? Please come forward.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Debbie Lewis. I am with the Executive Chamber of Governor Kathy Hochul, and I am before you to discuss a very interesting topic. I promise to keep it for 2 minutes. I'm not even going to go in depth as I promised the chair I would. I did share with Board Member Afray a link in the chat for those who are online so that you can respond accordingly. But before I do so, before I talk about the subject that I'm here to do, I just wanted to share that Governor Hochul signed legislation to support the hospitality industry, which support temporary permits for New York City businesses, which doubles the temporary permit duration for those that are in the hospitality industry, extending and supporting businesses opening quickly and staying open longer with reduced cost and less paperwork requirements. You need something? And let me just go through this really quickly. So the two pieces of legislation is Senate 8203 and Assembly 8427, which removes the previously set 2-year restriction allowing businesses to open months earlier with a temporary permit while their full application is pending. So those that are awaiting licenses like bars and restaurants, they can begin to start to bring revenue to the restaurants and the bars earlier while they await for their retail permits. Okay, so I wanted to share that. And in addition to that, I want to talk about Downstate, the institution where we are currently sitting in. As you all know, there was legislation that was put forth to ensure that we have a community advisory board. How many people know about the community advisory board? 5. Okay. So when you start to protest in the street, just know that we are working on a community advisory board. Okay, this community advisory board is currently in motion. We are set to hopefully have our first meeting in the next month or so. There will be ample time for folks to make necessary recommendations to the state based off of what they would like to see happen in downstate or at downstate. So additionally, I will share that there is a link, and I do have, and I will be in the back, I have a QR code and a link that I can share with you all. If you want to make recommendations on what you would like to see here, please, please, please stop me and ask for the link. The community board also has the link. Put your recommendations in there. Your chair will be representing you all at meetings. He's going to be vocal, and he can only tell us what you want based off of what you share with him. Does that make sense? So if you want this institution to stay alive and thriving, please share that. If you want to see something specific, please share that. We're going to be very active over the next few months, and we need everyone's participation so that we can bring the community requests and the community needs forward. Okay? Any questions?
Are there any questions related to downstate or anything else that Ms. Lewis has mentioned? Yes, please step forward to the mic, state your name.
And while she's coming forward, I will also give you all my email address. Again, my name is Debbie Lewis, and I'm the Director of New York City for Governor Kathy Hochul. And my email is Debbie, DEBBIE, .Lewis, LOUIS, @exec.ny.gov.
Hi, I'm Chantal Archibald. I don't know if you said the chair, the name of the chair.
The name of the chair?
Yeah. Who would be the chair rather?
Of the board, Community
Yes.
Advisory Board?
Yes.
So that is still in formation.
Okay.
And once the board has their first official meeting, it is subject to open meetings law. Everyone will know, and that information will be shared.
Hi, Pastor Galbraith.
Hello, hello. Charles Galbraith, board member. Thank you for this and thank you for the update. We shared about this last meeting, so thank you for your willingness for this with this update. Is our understanding that there still is the pause as we're going through this process of bringing together the community advisory committee in regards to any decisions that'll be made?
Pause in hospital operations?
No pause in regards to any other plans to move or do anything else with SUNY Downstate?
No, there's a pause. Nothing should be happening. The governor actually found some money. She shook some trees, found some money so the hospital can operate over the next fiscal year. And in that time, with the 5 months that we have to make the recommendations, there should be additional funding that comes out of that conversation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any further questions?
Any further questions? Seeing none, thank you, Ms. Lewis.
Thank you.
All right, community session. This is where any member of the community, not on the board, any member in the committee can come forward and make comments. Any member of the community, please use both mics, stand behind each other. When you come up, please state your name and affiliation with the community. Thank you. You're first.
Yeah, I'm first. Hi, good evening. My name is.
You could adjust your mic up.
It's tall.
There you
Just
go.
take it. Hi, my name is Christina Artwell, and I am can I stand here? All right. And I'm the new commercial revitalization manager for Little Haiti BK. We have a few events coming up. So we actually have some business sessions tomorrow morning taking place at Bon 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 Cafe. And that's gonna feature Pace University. So if you check our Instagram, if you wanna just contact us, programs@littlehaitibk.org, you'll be able to sign up for these events. We'll also be teaming up with Pace again next month to do these business sessions. So it's one-on-one sessions where you can talk to them, get advice about funding, get advice about how to run your business, marketing, or anything like that. So that's taking place tomorrow morning. And then we also have another event in the evening for Jean-Jacques Desalani. Desalani, yeah, thank you. I'm learning. But Desalani's Day, so that's gonna also take place at Bon Bon Bon. We have another beautification event happening next week. And then, hold on, I'm actually gonna look at my phone. Sorry, thank you for your patience. So we have another event happening the 24th next week. Then we also have the 13th of November, which will be our next merchant mixer. So we actually just had a successful merchant mixer at Sip and Chat BK during the 30th in September. So we welcome merchants in the area, any small business owner, to come connect with us. We're here to help you guys, and follow us on Instagram. We'll have more events. The 29th? Oh, Necessary Conversations is also one of our events happening. So with all of the turmoil with politics right now, especially with Haitians and immigrant communities, we're having this conversation in partnership with Brooklyn College. So we welcome anybody from Haitian descent or Caribbean descent to come chat with us and really talk about what you guys are feeling, what you guys are dealing with. So we welcome the community to come have these conversations. All right, thank you, bye.
Thank you. The person that was from the Haitian agencies, are you part of that group? Yes, you come up now. You're in this. No. You go ahead, but I'm just telling her she comes up and speak now. So you go ahead, George.
Great evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was here a couple months before the summer, I believe it was. I am the executive chair of Race for Excellence. It is a STEAM-based group mentoring and after-school program for middle school age children. I always come with props. They learn how to design and paint the bodies of 10-scale electric remote control cars. And they learn about the 5 major parts of the car with emphasis on the motor, learning about basic electricity, basic magnetism, and electromagnetism. They go on 2 trips during the program. One to the International Auto Show, where they get to learn hands-on what they learn in the program, how it can be put to use in the real world. Also, the other trip is to the Black Men's Brunch, hosted by 500 Men Making a Difference, of which I am a founding member. I am very excited because there have been a lot of developments and I am in need of a lot of support. Currently, the mentoring program is running in Bedford-Stuyvesant. However, I live in Flatbush Gardens. I've been trying to bring the program here for at least 3 years. PS 181 and PS 109 are middle schools in this district, and I've been running into stumbling blocks trying to get them to pick up this very valuable after-school program. I have made a partnership with the Black Male Initiative of CUNY College. So now we have Black males who will be in our schools, which is something that the city has been trying to do for some time. I think I beat them to the punch. What I need is community support. I am a growing small minority-owned business. I'm doing this because I have grandchildren and I don't like what the future looks like. So rather than complaining about it, I decided to do something about it, at least 15 children at a time. I am currently hiring. I'm excited about that. The only problem that is part-time, 4 hours a week. They'll be working in the after-school program. 2 people per school. It would be nice if they were in the community that the school was in. So when I do get into PS 181 and PS 109, I would be looking for employees in this district. This program has a lot to offer, and I would like to share that with the community. I also have 10 seats open for the mentoring program that started last month. Unfortunately, it's short notice. I've been so busy working with our public leaders, like Senator Kevin Parker, getting in touch with Farrah Lewis to try and get support for funding so that the schools can't tell me they don't have the money for the program. That I have not been able to make the education committee meetings. I will do my best to do so, but I'm doing it by myself. I don't really have a lot of support. So if there's someone who would like to support us in moving forward and growing, because things are happening very quickly, and I do have a full-time job with Con Edison, so it's difficult for me to do it by myself. This can help everyone here in the community. So I have a website where you can contact me and get more information about the program, and that is www.race, R-A-C-E, the number 4, excellence, E-X-C-E-L-L-E-N-C-E, should have been in the spelling bee, .org. I also have flyers that I put in the back with QR codes for you to share the information with anyone you choose to do so. I will be here until the end of the meeting, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson. Ms. Martinez?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Allison Martinez. I am co-founder and executive director of Brooklyn Level Up. We're a community development corporation that supports East Flatbush, and Flatlands through our entrepreneurship collective, which just ran through its first small business incubator in partnership with the Brooklyn Public Library Rugby branch. We are also building a community land trust, and we also do work on environmental justice in our area through our Brooklyn Level Up Cultivate program. We have 2 upcoming programs that we wanted to make you aware of. One, this is the year 3 of the People's Money, which is the mayor's citywide participatory budgeting project. It's not for capital expenses, parts of the budget, but for expenses, which means what programs would we like to have in the community. Last year, we hosted a health and wellness program that was voted on by the community called Wealth, W-E-L-L-T-H, which was really well participated in, and a lot of different events. We even had some at the senior center with self-care day with a massage therapist on site and all of that, which they wanted to be a permanent program. But those require obviously funding and support. But the next round of idea generation sessions are happening starting in November. There's a flyer in the back so you can find out more about when those will be happening and where. The number you can call is 347-740-8359, or you can email us at info@bklvlup.org. we need you to participate, get those ideas flowing, and then we'll be able to see what actually gets put into practice next year. Also, next, we're part of the Flatbush African Burial Ground Coalition. And next week, from October 24th through the 26th, we will be having a ground penetrating radar program where we'll be able to grid out the burial ground on Church and Bedford and have it what's ground penetrating radar used to determine where and if there are remains of our collective ancestors in that ground. So you can come out and be part of unveiling history. We hope that you can make it. It's really an opportunity for us to do some work to really find out what's still there and part of the community engagement process. So please come out. And then lastly, I'll just say that this past summer, we had a paid youth internship for soil testing in our community. And that was we knew that East Flatbush actually has the third highest amount of lead in its soil. But we're also a community of people who are homeowners and also grow food where we live. And so it's important to know because the lead actually stays in the soil at the levels where people tend to grow leafy vegetables, onions, and the like. We really had a great summer being able to get teens in our community to be paid to do some of that digging and research. And we've now gotten the results in partnership with Brooklyn College's Urban Soils Lab. So at the end of this week, we'll actually be reviewing the results. And preliminarily, there are definitely moderate to high levels of lead in the soil that people are growing food in our community. So we're now going to have to figure out what are the next steps for soil replacement and planters and the like. So there will be other rounds of this testing. We were able to test almost 75 homes this summer, but there are obviously a lot more homes in our community that need to be tested, especially if people are growing food. And what we did is not just letting them know what levels of lead are in their soil, but what the nutrients are, period, so that we could then come up with programming for how you could train your soil to have more nutrients that you need for growing the types of food or vegetables or plants that you like. So hopefully you'll get in touch and be part of the next round of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Yes. For this session, yes. Thank you.
Happy new day, everyone. Happy new evening. I know it's late. I'll be less than a minute. Sorry that my back is turned. My name is Sabrina J. Lewis, and I'm an executive assistant and program coordinator at Haitian Centers Council. We're located at 3807 Church Avenue. We don't cater only to the Haitian community, y'all. We cater to everyone. And so we have mental health services. We have a wellness clinic itself. We have ESL classes, ESL courses. We do food giveaway, clothing giveaways. We have many different events coming up. I know I'm moving along in time. So what I'll do is I'll just give you my company's website. It's hccinc.org. Our phone number is 718-940-2200. My extension is 124. Again, my name is Sabrina J. Lewis, and I'll be back. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
What is that address again? 38?
Oh, 3807 Church Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Sure, it's 718-940-2200. My extension is 124. Any other questions? Oh, the website. Oh, y'all are interested. Okay, come through. Okay, so the website is hccinc.org.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good evening, everybody. Good morning, CB17. I'll make this real brief. My name is Bernard Skelton. I'm the community liaison.
We didn't hear you.
I'm
your
sorry
name
about
is?
that. My name is Bernard Skelton. I'm the community liaison for the East Flatbush FEC, the yard. We're located at 3521 Church in Brooklyn. We'll be open up in November. I just wanted to briefly tell you guys about some events that's going to be happening real soon. October 31st, with Sesame Flyers at 3521, we will have a trick-or-treat pop-up shop for the young people that are 12, the people that's
We can't
young
hear
people
you.
12 and under. There will be a trick-or-treat pop-up at Sesame Flyers, 3521 Church Avenue. We also have a turkey giveaway on Thursday, November 21st, from 1:30 to 5 p.m. at Sesame Flyers Clubhouse. We'll be in collaboration with them as well. We also have a once-a-month women's group that you can scan and virtual. The next one is November 12th, Tuesday, November 12th, from 6 to 7 with Edwina Laurent. All right, you can scan. There's flyers up there in the front. And one more, Sesame Flyers also presents With the Yard for Christmas, Saturday, December 14th, a Christmas toy giveaway and party. All right, you guys could get flyers in the back. You can scan the QR codes. You can tap into the organization and see what events that we have going on throughout the rest of the year. And we look forward to your participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard.
Can I just briefly say, a lot of these community partners sound like they would be a great fit for the board fair on Saturday, October 19th. So if you
hint.
all would like to be there with us on Utica Avenue, out on the street, talking to people face to face, please let us know. You are all welcome, and we'd love your participation.
And Bernard, please, Natasha, tell Natasha that she should
Yeah, I saw-
come
I
out.
saw your name.
Tell Natasha,
Me and you, we're good, but
tell Natasha she needs to come out to that event on the 19th, right? And bring you with her.
like to see you. Rachel.
And Edwina.
We'd love to see you with the cars. We'd love to see you. Yes. So reach out to me, reach out to ADM. Thank you.
And I think Myra's working here as well.
Yes, and
And
Kara's-
Ms. Swaby, she's standing in the back. You can speak to her as well. All right, Member Swaby. All right, with that being said, yes, I heard a name. Yes. A hand raised. I know, who's the hand? Can you? Who? Rhea and Rhea? Is this community session or the legislation piece you want to talk about? Rhea,
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
are you for legislation or you talking about a community event?
Oh, legislation. Sorry.
All right, you're not up yet. Give me a minute. All right, roll call.
Amir Frey. Hear me okay? Tiffany Anderson. Berlat Antoine. Hassan Bakrdine. Celia Belin. Celia Belin. David Boatswain. Teresa Baradin. Venancia Colon. Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Daly, Herminia Daniels, Natasha Duncan, LaShawn Freeman, Charles Galbraith, Rose Graham, Gail Granderson, Ronald Green, Michael Hill, Whitney Humphrey, Julia James, Kevin Jason, Doris Jones, Nicole Julius, Osney Lewis, Trisha Lewison, Edith Mark, Brandon Matherin, Daniel McCabe, Donna McLean Grant, Jabril Morris, Fatima Muhammad, Khadijah Oluo, Montserrat Oni is here. Kadiatu Wadrago, June Prasad, Deborah Pointer, Carol Renault, Aaron Roth, Bernadette Selby, Kimberly Shelley, Antoinette Smart, Tyron Stearns, Kamara Swaby, Simone Sylvester, Tamara Thomas, Heslot Turson, Marguerite Vigilante, Kendrick Westcott, Melanie Wilkerson, Ivor Wood, thank you.
Everybody present, just count them up. All right, while we're doing that, Our board members should have received the adoption of the minutes from the September 18th meeting. Let me just. Did everybody receive the minutes? Did anybody not receive the minute? Okay, are there any corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, can I get a motion to accept the minutes? Can I get a motion to accept the minutes? Kamara Swaby moved the motion to accept the minutes. Getting someone to second. Carol Renault second the motion. All in favor of accepting the minutes, please say aye. All opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? See none. We're at the part of the public hearing. There are 3 SLA license. Chair Bakradine, please step forward. Also Chair Oni, please step forward with the 2 light, your TLC and the street code name. I'm just going to ask for these 2 sessions in order to move time forward. Please minimize the responses to them. If somebody's speaking for, nobody's speaking against, more likely it's going to carry. If you're really strong opposition, do speak. And also, if you're in favor of something, please try to give it to 1 or 2 people to speak as opposed to everyone speaking. Thank you. I did? I'm sorry. I didn't realize I said Oni. Osni Lewis for transportation, I thought I said.
You ready? All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everyone. Hassan Bakrdeen, Chair for Commerce. Can we get the representatives or business owners who are here from Hyde Brooklyn Hospitality come sit up in the front row here? Mr. Walter, I think. Also from Pimento Opal as well, Ms. Toya, and Quillox Restaurant. They're here. All right. Good evening, you guys. Nice to see you again. So we are going to be, and I'll start with Hyde Brooklyn Hospitality. Mr. Walton, why don't you come up a little bit, sir? I'm sure there'll be some questions for you after your presentation. So if you could go to that mic there and talk a little bit about your business, what you intend to do, and certainly the full board will ask you some questions whereby we'll vote after hearing all 3 of you guys. All right, thank you.
All right, good evening. I'm Chasen. This is Frank Walter. I think we're both under the weather, but he's worse than I am. So I'll do most of the speaking this evening. Hyde and Seek, it's a lounge. It's a very playful name. It's not a restaurant. It's not a lounge. It's a rest-a-lounge. So we from the Suede Group, we have decided to take a new approach where we're going to be fusing dining, but a more abbreviated version of dining with fun in a lounge, an upscale lounge setting. The location is 1308, the old rack top. I guarantee it looks nothing like the outside now. It's beautiful, it's upscale, and we are targeting a mature upscale clientele.
Is that it?
Any questions or?
Any questions for Mr.
concerns?
Chafin?
You ready to come? Well, we'll definitely notify the community board. I think we've had a great relationship with the board over the last 10 years. So we'll be informing the board about the grand opening.
All right. And
Are there any other questions?
It's 1308 Utica Avenue. It's between Avenue D and Foster Avenue.
All right.
And the committee voted in favor of, as well.
Okay, so our planned hours of operation are 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., Thursday to Sunday. Well, Sunday, we plan to have a brunch. So Sunday, it's a little bit earlier from 12 noon to 12 midnight.
Okay. Are there any other questions?
I'm sorry, there's a question on there. Okay, so she's asking what's the capacity?
Yes.
So there are two capacities. There is the legal capacity. There are two levels. One floor is 110. The second level is 96. We'd love to have full capacity every day, but we're not sure if we could attain that. However, we do plan, in our planning, we estimating 120 to 200 people daily throughout the day. Yeah, absolutely. Mhm.
Can you use the
Yeah,
mic,
Marguerite, we can't hear you.
Member Viante?
So my question is that that's a very large space. There are homes right behind it. It's a 200 patron capacity. There's no parking. So I'm really concerned about how that affects all the neighbors.
A great question. First, to begin with, we don't anticipate that all 200 people are going to come at the same time. What we're anticipating throughout the evening from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., we will have 200 patrons. The second thing, in doing our parking research, we do that before we even sign leases. We look at the parking, else if there's no parking or no way for our patrons to come, then we won't have the business. So in looking at it, and I think today, we were out there again, we counted 108 cars because there's a lot of diagonal parking because there's a lot of mechanic auto stores on that block. So most times in the evening, those cars, you're correct. So those illegal cars parking there, most times in the evening, they're not even there. So there's tremendous street parking. But again, it's not a nightclub where everybody comes in at the same time to get in free before 12. It's a restaurant and we anticipate people are going to come throughout the evening. Okay, absolutely. I understand your concern. That's what it is.
Any other questions? Board members, any other questions? All right, hearing none, thank you for coming up. And you guys should just sit down and hang out for a little bit, all right?
All right.
We did do we do always ask for an incident report from 67 precinct, but again, this is a new business. So this one incident that was in October 8th, 2023, it was a 311 call for loud music and the incident is closed. That's what the status says, but it is not attributed to obviously this new business because they haven't even opened yet. Thank you.
Okay, understood.
All right, and Ms. Toya, you guys are good. You guys are good. Go ahead. Yeah.
Good evening, y'all. I am here
Say
representing,
that again.
sorry.
You didn't talk about.
I didn't say that again.
No.
All right. We're moving on. Ms. Toya, good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. Hi, I'm
So-
actually Carly Johnson representing Toya.
Yes. Okay, great. Okay, great. Pimento Opal, you're here on behalf, representing her, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Can you tell us a little bit about your business, please? And of course, the board members will ask you some questions and that kind of thing, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. So we are very excited about Onyx and Pearls. This is a cafe, wine bar, and tapas restaurant. It's a food forward space, but we will also sell wine, beer, and cider according to our license, of course. This space is run by Toya P. Henry, who was born and raised in this neighborhood. She is a renowned chef, a food consultant, and she combines traditional Caribbean flavors with international cooking techniques. She's been cooking for a very long time, starting with her grandparents, her family, and they're still a big part of the business now. I'm currently her general manager and working with her for 8 years. This space will not only be a space to come and enjoy food in a relaxed and calm setting, it'll also be a place to showcase local artists, local businesses, and other professionals, their crafts and their services. So we really look forward to making this a community space, really where people feel welcome to come in, where we collaborate together. We recognize that we are right next to a church, so we're looking to really garner support from that church. We won't be open on Sundays in the afternoons. We're going to only be open on Sunday mornings to do coffee service and pastries for the neighborhood. Our operation hours across the board are Tuesdays through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. That's for the cafe. The tapas and wine bar will be open from 5 to 10 p.m. Tuesdays through Thursdays, and 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. Friday and Saturday. The capacity for the space is 75 standing and seated 28 people. Let me make sure I got all of this. There's a lot. We're lots very excited, but yeah, good food, Caribbean, Southeast Asian fusion. We use local, sustainable resources and food ingredients. And we will be opening up a chef's table down the line where we'll really look to invest in interested or local chefs who are interested in building up their presence here in New York City and around the world. So that's us.
Right. Thank you so much for that. Are there any questions for primarily from our committee members? Are there any, sorry, our board members, are there any questions for the representative from Opal?
Sorry, I didn't mention that, y'all. The address is 867 Rutland Road.
Okay. Well, we had a vigorous discussion about the committee last night, particularly our concern about the proximity of where the business would be, the church. So we voted not in favor of the applicant simply because of that. Most of the votes were an abstention, obviously. So we didn't vote in favor of that, but we wanted to make sure that that was actually on the record. I know that she's going to be doing some due diligence as far as, getting out to the churches and all of that. My other ask is to, I think she said that she was not going to be open on Sundays.
Sundays only for the cafe hours in the morning. Those hours are, I can repeat those, give me 1 second. It would be Sundays from 10 a.m. to 12, I believe.
Okay. And the reason why I ask is that that's high time for church.
Absolutely.
So the point that I'm making is that she needs to do a little bit more due diligence, but I just wanted to make sure that the board was clear and we were transparent as we could with this as well. So any other final questions before? All right.
Go ahead, Treasurer James.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I'm not looking at you. I'm just going to pull it up on my mask because I'm actually, I have yet to be out to the site. Chef Toya P is there. Give me 1 second. So we're at 867.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's on Utica Avenue or Rutland?
On Rutland Road.
Between 51st and Utica? What churches? I know there's a church between 51st and 52nd. There's a liquor store on Utica Avenue around the corner, the gas station across the street, the Little Caesars in that parking lot, and the laundromat. So I'm trying to figure out. Yes. So I don't, my question is what church is, I know the church between 51st and 52nd onto Remsen Avenue over there, but I don't know what church is between 50th and 51st. Say it again. The apostle. Okay, is that a storefront or is it storefront? Okay. Go ahead, First Vice Chair.
June Passat, First Vice Chair. The applicant is asking for a wine, beer, and cider, which is legally, she can get as SLA guideline. If she was asking for a full liquor license, then there would have been an issue. And the church is not a storefront because it's a sort of a storefront, but it doesn't have apartments on top. But she's legally entitled to beer, wine, and cider. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, First Vice Chair Prasad. All right. So as I've explained last month, I will explain again. The board will be voting on the recommendation
Mr.
of,
Mayor, we have one more.
they didn't come up. That's why I didn't say that. Gulak, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, they're here.
They're here?
Yeah.
They didn't come forward.
The representative from Klutz Business? Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you.
He didn't come to the front. That's
Yeah.
right.
Thank you, sir, for being here. And certainly, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your business. There'll be some questions on the board as well.
Good evening, everyone. On our protocol duly observed. My name is.
We can't hear you, sir.
I said, good evening, everybody. Our protocol observed. My name is Israel Abolaji. I own Quilog's Restaurant and Lounge, and it's gonna be on 9508 Church Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. So at the moment, we have a juice bar right across the street on 9505. So we sell basically wellness product and coffee and natural juice. So we're planning to open an African restaurant across the street. So we're gonna be open from 10 in the morning to probably like 2 a.m. So we're gonna have liquor. We're gonna sell liquor inside, and we're gonna have a backyard. And also we're planning to have a rooftop. The rooftop is gonna be probably later on in the future, not right now. So, but we are proposing it to the board to see if we can get it approved. So we can also proceed with the certificate of occupancy and everything. So right now the place can take 75 people. And basically we're gonna be serving African dishes. And it's gonna be a lounge where we have an event overnight. And at the moment before we go to the place, there used to be a lounge over there, Macedonia Tavern. So we wanna continue with the business. Thank you.
All right, thank you so
Right,
much
thank
for
you.
that presentation. Are there any questions for?
Is this a new business?
Yes, it is a new business.
Yes, go ahead, Chair Chair Oni.
Hello, you said you want to have a rooftop on, and this is a one-story building, just so I'm clear?
Yes, it's a one-story building.
Okay, are you permitted to be on the roof for that building?
There's a landlord approved it, so he said we should communicate to the community, but if they approve it, then.
We can't hear you.
I said the landlord for the building approved for us to have a rooftop. So he said we should communicate to the community board and see if we could get approval for it.
Okay.
Of the liquor license before you get the rooftop approval?
Yes. I mean, we need to communicate to the community board and see if we can have a rooftop over there. So we can also proceed with a liquor license for it.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
And sorry, are you a restaurant?
Yes, it's gonna be a full
Restaurant, liquor license,
yes.
right? And your hours of operation?
I'm sorry.
Hours of operation?
From 10 o'clock in the morning till probably 2 o'clock. On weekends, we're gonna extend to 4 in the morning.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? All right. Will the three candidates please come back forward and stand at the front? So people know who they're voting on. All three candidates, please stand right here.
Right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, can you give us, did you have quorum at the last meeting?
We did.
Can you give us the recommendation of the board on? Yeah, yes, go ahead.
No, we had not, because last night was our meeting, so here we are tonight. So we have not been able to do that. But we did talk to the business owner, and she said that she was actually going to go out and talk to them. We're going to definitely do that as well, just to see what their position is, on that. I mean, we like the concept, obviously, of what they're bringing to the community. The only problem we had was obviously the church and proximity of where the business was and that kind of thing. But that was the only thing. Yes, ma'am. Mhm. Mhm. No, it was just, we didn't recommend it as a committee. So the board, obviously, right, so when we, right. No, and it was the only caveat was, I guess, was because of the church that was there and the proximity of where it was. Now, the final arbiters, obviously, is the SLA. They're the ones who make the decision on whether or not that business gets their license, right? We just make the recommendation. And the full board is actually, would be doing that this evening. That's the point. Okay?
All right.
All right. So I'm sorry, Mr. Chair.
So go ahead. So what was the vote for hide and seek?
Okay, so hide and seek, is Hyde Brooklyn Hospitality. We had 9 yeses, 2 abstentions, and 1 no.
Okay, thank you.
And for
Pimento?
Pimento, we had 5 yeses, 7 abstentions, and 1 no. And Quilux Restaurant, we had 8 yeses, 3 abstentions, and 2 noes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So as you know, you're voting on the recommendation of the committee. So let's go with the 2 that they voted yes on. If you are in favor of the committee's recommendation of yes, please do so by saying, yes, I agree, when I call your name. If you disagree, then just say no, right? Wait, I'm sorry. Yes, the committee said yes on hide and seek and cooler. And they said no on Pimento, so I'm going to do that separately. But I'm not putting Pimento in because the committee voted no. So just the first 2 that it said yes on. We're going to vote on the committee's recommendation first. So Kwame Afray. On both. Thank you. Tiffany Anderson. And what about Gulab? No, thank you. Hassan Bakruddin.
Yes on both.
Celia Bellin. On both or one? Teresa Berriton. Yes, hide and seek, and no for Kulak. Venancia Colon. Is this related to the vote? Yeah, I when I get back to that, I'll speak about that. Is that what you? But we're not voting on that one yet, though, Member Bellin. We're not voting on that one yet. We're only voting on the 2 that they said yes to. All right. I'm sorry, Mr. Berreton. You said yes on hide and seek and no on Kulab. Thank you. Venancia Colon. Yes and yes. Thank you. Roger Daly, yes and yes. Herminia Downers is not here. Asha Cunningham is not here. Natasha Duncan. LaShawn Freeman. On both? Dr. Charles Galber?
Yes to both.
Rose Graham? Gail Grandison, Michael Hill. Did Ronald Green come in? No. Whitney Humphrey, Julia James, Jason, Doris Jones, was she present? Could be. Absent. Nicole Julius. Osmond Lewis. Tricia Lewisant. Edith Mark is not here. Brandon McLaren is not here. Daniel McCabe. Donna is not here. Jabril is not here. Fatima Muhammad. Khadija Oluwo. Yes, to both. Did I pronounce the last name correct? How do you pronounce it? Oluwo. Okay, thank you. Montserrat Oni. Khadija Kadiyatu. I can't pronounce that last name, I'm sorry. She was absent, marked absent. Okay. June Prasad. Deborah Pointer was marked absent. Carol Renault. Aaron Roth was marked absent. Bernadette Selby. Kimberly Shelley. Antoinette Smart. Yes. Tyrone was marked absent. Kamara Swaby. Simone Sylvester. Tamara Thomas. Left. Kershawn Hoslop was marked absent. Marguerite Viante. Tabo. Henrik Westcott. Melanie Wilkinson. All right, on the, you gentlemen can have a seat. On the third candidate, Pimento Opal, the recommendation of the committee was no. There was some clarity given that they do have the right to the license based upon the church and the location of the type of license. Now, if you vote yes, that means you agree with the committee that they should not get their license. If you vote no, that means you disagree with the committee and they could move forward with the recommendation. So if you're voting on the recommendation of the committee, the committee said no. It was 5-4,
5
7.
yeses, 7 abstentions, and 1 no.
No, the majority of the people that voted did not vote yes. So it didn't pass. Wait. Member Lewis, go ahead. So because the majority of the members who voted did not vote yes, even though the vote was favorable, yes, The amount of people that were on the committee that were there that voted did not vote yes, the motion failed. All right? So technically, sounds like it should have passed, right? Because it's 5-1. But it didn't pass because the majority of people there did not vote yes. Yes, then it would have passed. Okay. All right. So again, does everyone understand? Okay. So yes, I'm agreeing with the committee that they should not get their license. No, I disagree with the committee. They should get their license. So it's actually the opposite on this one. Okay? All right. Kwame Afraid. Yes.
It was absolutely, and they actually said that they were going to do that. And we're going to go by, obviously, as a committee and go on site as well and get sort of firsthand stuff. So it's that's the only, like I said, that's the only thing that, other than us not, voting in the affirmative, that was the one thing that we,
Can you address that?
Sure.
Yes, thank you for that question. We are going to go to the church and speak to them. So the owner of the building has been in the neighborhood for many years. He's familiar with the church as well. So our goal is to go there ASAP, maybe today, tomorrow, but we weren't actually able to get in contact with them yet. But that is our goal, to build a relationship with them that is really meaningful, and get their vote for this as well. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Are you a board member? What's your name? Kevin, Jason, go ahead.
We did have that.
What was the hours on Sundays? Okay.
Well, initially, when we spoke to Toya, she said she wasn't going to be open on Sunday. That was her initial response. Mhm.
Okay. Yes. We do need to move on with the vote, so if you don't mind, again, just to reiterate, yes, that means no, they cannot get their license. No means yes, they can get their license. Just the opposite. I'm just reminding you. All right, so vote opposite or whatever. Kwame Afraid. Tiffany. Chair Burla, oh, she's not here. Hassan.
Abstain.
Celia. David. Teresa. Ms. Barretton? I didn't hear. She's gone. Oh, sorry. Venancia? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. So then no. You can't do that. Either you vote for the committee's recommendation or vote against the recommendation. So, no, okay. Roderick, no. Natasha Duncan. LaShawn Freeman. Charles Galbert. Rose Graham. Gail Grandison. Ronald Green, he's not here. Michael Hill. Whitney Humphrey. Julia Jane. Kevin Jason. Doris Jones. Nicole Julius. Austin Lewis. Trisha Lewis on. Daniel McCabe. Fatima Mohammed. Khadija Aluwo. Montserrat Oni. I know, right? I'm kidding. Sorry. June Prasad. Cal Renault. Bernadette Selby. She's not here. Kimberly Shelley. Antoinette Smart. Kamara Swaby. Simone Sylvester. Kamara Thomas is not here. Marguerite Riante. No. Kenrick Westcott. Melanie Wilkinson. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank our business owners. for
I'll
coming
give you-
through as well.
I'll give you the numbers in a minute. Chair Lewis, please bring up Tier 2.
All right, good night to all again. Is the owner of Rainbow Dispatch Service. All right, wonderful. To give a little, well, maybe gentleman could come and give a little background. And then it's actually a renewal for the TLC license, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is a renewal for Rainbow Radio Dispatch, Rainbow Car Service. We have been serving the community for a very long time, over 50 years. And so far, we are also providing employment for quite a number of people. And I'll make it short. We're asking that you allow us to continue doing business in the community. Thank you.
All right.
You have a question? Somebody has a question?
50.
My recollection is about 60 years. Thank you for asking.
Right. Okay, any other questions? If not,
Yes, we do have an app. Yes, we do.
wonderful. So that's good. Uber and them gotta run to the next side. And it's good that the older folks have access because those who cannot use Uber and Lyft and the others, they still call Rainbow and they still look for that. So it's an important staple in our community.
Yes, the app is, you could download from the Play Store, Rainbow Car Service at yahoo.com. Thank you.
Very well. Mr. Chair, you want to call for the vote?
I think you have, oh, yeah, just do one. What was the vote at the committee?
Yes. It was in support of renewing, giving the
Do
letter
you
of
have a
support.
number?
Huh?
Do you have the vote number?
Not on me, but I know that we
Yeah.
did have the votes
Yeah,
necessary.
okay.
I don't have the exact numbers.
Because I'm doing both. I have to add them on at the same time. Yes, it's all the same paper. All right. You're voting on the recommendation of the committee to recommend that they renew their license. So obviously, a yes vote means yes, no vote means no. In this case, Kwame Afraid, Tiffany Anderson, Berlat Antoine is not here. Hassan Bakrdin, Celia Bellin, David Boatswain is not here. Teresa Burton. Pardon me? Oh, she's gone. Right. Venancia Colon. Roger Daly, yes. Herminia Daniels. Natasha Duncan. LaShawn Freeman. Charles Galber. Rose Graham. Gail Grandison. Ronald Green is not here. Michael Hill. Whitney. Julia. Kevin. Doris is not here. Nicole. Osnick.
Yes.
Trisha. Edith. Here. Brandon not here. Daniel. Yes. Dominic not here. Jabrilla's not here. Fatima. Khadijah. Montserrat. June.
Yes.
Deborah's not here. Carol. Kimberly. Antoinette. Tyrone is absent. Tamara. Simone. She just left. Tamara. No, Tamara, not Kamara. Margaret. Sorry, I'm avoiding the last name so it can move faster. Kenrick. Melanie. Yeah. Ivor. Okay. Last one is the, you could sit down, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I will give the preliminary votes in a little bit, but all have passed so far.
Yes.
The street naming.
Street naming, for Mr. John H. Bunyan. First thing, I would like for the two members of the support for Mr. Bunyan to come up and speak. We'll give them a minute each. There's a lot of supporters that came on. There were a lot of supporters that came on to the committee meeting. So I want to give those two members a chance to speak. I believe it was Mr. Bunyan's brother. And myself, George Berry. Okay, very well. So.
Good evening, everybody. My name is George Berry, and I'm one of Mr. Bunyan's former player and student. We have a lot of supporters. Unfortunately, only two of us could speak. And I want to make sure that everybody's acknowledged, everybody is standing there. And I'm going to introduce you to his brother. I want to introduce you to his brother. Mr. Burke. We got a limited amount of time, that's all.
All right. Good evening, all. Let me just say thank you to those of you who have waited to hear from us and to the board members for allowing us to have a moment with you. I'm John Bunyan's youngest and only surviving sibling. There were 4 of us. Our parents came from what was then British Guyana and today is known as Guyana. They came in 1923, so last year we celebrated 100 years of them having come to this country. Of the 4 of us, as I said, I'm the youngest, but all of us were influenced by our oldest brother, John. As you may know, he was a dean of students at Erasmus Hall High. He was also the basketball coach there for, in both instances, for over 2 decades. He initially was the bowling coach at Erasmus and as well the assistant dean and similarly the assistant basketball coach, but through his hard work and relationships developed over years, he became the basketball coach and in turn, the dean of the school. His affiliation with organizations outside of the school, we share Omega Psi Phi fraternity, which many of you may know is one of the Divine Nine or the Greek letter organizations. He was a member of that organization for over 65 years, active in our local chapter, which just celebrated its 75th anniversary this past weekend. This pin that I'm wearing is suggestive of that organization, known also as Brooklyn Omega. I appreciate your support of this application to co-name the street John Bunyan Way. Thank you very much.
You both speak.
Okay. Yes, and I'd like to thank everybody coming out. I was speaking to the chairman about how passionate we feel about getting this done for Coach Bunyan. He touched 80% of the people that came to the school, not just players. We got football players there. We got retired detective. We got Mr. Boone, who's the director of team experiences for the Knicks. We got numerous guys that actually took example from Coach Bunyan and his family and his wife to go on and do things. There's a lot of empty seats here because a lot of the people went and took his advice and did what he told them or instructed them to do. Unfortunately, the opportunities came up out of state, so they're not able to get here. But again, he enabled majority of us to become men, the men that we are. And I think he deserves that honor. I want my kids to look up and see this sign. I'm going to bring him if he's able to do it, God willing, and know who he is. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Is his wife here? Is his wife here?
Yes, she's here.
Where's she? Please come up and say, just let the audience see you. This is John Bunyan's wife, who started this process or helped start the process to co-name the street after her late husband, John Bunyan. Just turn around and say hi.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being so patient and waiting for this to happen. I just want to say to you that the legacy of John Bunyan is, it will happen when his name is put on that sign at Erasmus Street. I heard so many stories in our marriage about Erasmus Hall High School and the things that he did and the students that he met. And he continued, even after his retirement, to connect with the men that he had, worked with. So I hope and pray that this committee will see it fitting to honor John's legacy by naming Erasmus Street the John H. Bunyan Street. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move right to the voting.
Can I have just one moment?
We're trying to. Is it, go ahead.
Quick. One classic example that I'd like to just call to your attention. A few years ago, as I sought to get my tennis permit for the season, a young lady at the Parks Department who was handling my application said, Bunyan, Bunyan, are you related to John Bunyan? I said, yeah. She said, you don't know what he did for my brother. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, my brother was a real knucklehead. And my brother, John, in the capacity of dean, got with this young man and straightened him out. And his family is forever grateful for that which John Bunyan did on his behalf. I just wanted to share that classic example with you. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. I will call your name. Actually, I could do it by roll call, but by show of hands. Just by showing of hands. I'm sorry, say it again. You can't have that for a motion for, but I could ask for a raise of hands because it's in the, well, all right, you know what? Let's just do it the same way. Names, quickly. That's what I was going to try to do, but I didn't want to. Anybody who's in favor, please stand. Board members only. In favor.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. All in opposition, please stand.
So, well, unofficially, we will give that letter of support. I'm waiting for the vote.
Sorry, one more call. Anybody in abstention?
Sorry.
All right, the vote passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay, legislative session. Bar President's office followed by Bar President office. Oh, I'm sorry. When did you walk in? Who? Barry's here? Oh, I didn't see her. Councilmember Lewis, I didn't know you were here. Please come up. Yes. And Assembly Member Waterman, please come forward. You're first. I didn't see you. I'm sorry. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. And congratulations on the co-naming. I'm Councilmember Farah Lewis, representing Council District 45. Thank you, Chair Daley and the Executive Board for the opportunity. I want to quickly thank Pastor Galbraith for hosting myself and Assemblymember Waterman for a mammogram event a couple of weeks ago in commemoration of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. In September, we passed a historic reparations bill, the first of its kind in New York City, in conjunction with Public Advocate Jamani Williams and Councilmember Crystal Hudson. You'll hear more about it in the near future. In October, recently passed maternal health bills to address maternal mortality and morbidity crisis in New York City. And I'm currently working on some bills regarding rape kits, as rapes have been up in our district and in central Brooklyn. And we'll share more information about that. I quickly wanted to share just an update on Bethany Senior Terraces. It's an affordable housing project that my office has been working on with Riceboro Community Partnership since 2020. This is a project that I've been passionate about, making sure that we're providing affordable housing for folks to age in place in our district. We got the deadline extended to October 31st. We worked really hard and pressured HPD to do their due diligence to make sure that folks had access to the application. So now that we've gotten the deadline extended, we're just asking folks to share information. There are some flyers in the back that has the information, but you can apply online, or you could approach Daniel from my office, who's here in the front row. We are hosting presentations at some local churches and community spaces, so folks have an opportunity, especially for those that fall into the digital divide, so that they have the support. And I do see Allison Martinez here. I want to thank her because she was a part of my team when we initially started this process. I quickly wanted to share an update on Clarendon Library. This is a library that's been closed in the district since I was elected in 2019. We gave some money. There was supposed to be an HVAC system implemented, and because of COVID, there was it shut down. And we've been giving a lot of pressure to BPL, but the issue was with DDC. And now we are doing a walkthrough with DDC and BPL next week. We'll give you an update. Chair Daly, I know that I spoke to you, Toya. I was gonna have a press conference in front of the commissioner's house. And I think they got that memo, so now there's a walkthrough.
Okay, thank you.
So I hope that you can come and some folks from Community Board 17. City of Yes for Housing Opportunity. Our office is hosting an info session on October 29th, but the hearing is next week, Monday and Tuesday. So if you would like to provide public testimony, please get the information from Daniel from my office. That is the only time you'll be able to speak about City of Yes. And I just want to let you all know, it's one text amendment. It's not 13, 14, 15 proposals. It's one text amendment, which means if this passes, it cannot change. So whether if you're in support or not, you all know where I stand. Next week is the only time you'll be able to give public testimony. You could submit it online at publictestimony@council.nyc.gov, or you can speak with Daniel from my office, who'll give you more information about where to go if you want to come and testify in person. A reminder to small businesses, the outdoor dining sheds must be taken down by November 29th, or you'll be subject to a fine if you are not a part of the sidewalk or roadway program. What does that mean? The first offense will be $500. The second offense will be $1,000. And then from there, it just gets really high. Avoid all that. Work with our office. You can speak with Daniel and we will support you. I know Bamboo Walk took theirs down, I think 2 weeks ago, and some other folks are working on taking theirs down. We want you to avoid the fine. If you're having a hard time, please let us know so we can work with you and the agency to make sure that we could support you in that effort. That is all. I do have a recommendation for the last business that was here. So in addition to speaking with the parishioners and the congregation at the church, I wanted to recommend to the business owner, I know she left, so I will find her. She should speak to Bishop Harding because he does have the social daycare a few doors down from the business. So you may want to have a conversation with Bishop Hardin as well, because I think he does rent out the social daycare during the weekend to a church. So just want to give a heads up on that. Thank you so much, Chair Daly.
Thank you. Assemblymember Waterman. I'm going to just ask that you ask each member that speaks a question at the back, so, because I'm told by the sergeant on that we're running way over time.
Thank you so much to the board. Thank you to the chair. Thank you to the district manager, all the staff, and all of you here. I know it's late. I'm going to try to do it as quick as possible. I'm New York State Assembly Member Monique Chandler Waterman. I'm going to go over a couple of things really quick. We were able to pass a couple of bills in the assembly recently, some gun legislation, especially when it comes to converters, Glock switch. So if a manufacturer is not taking all measures, reasonable steps to prevent where a gun could be converted in from a semi-automatic to automatic, right? It's literally, these guns are turned into machine guns just like this with a metal piece, right? They're going to be held accountable. Also, when it comes to credit card statements, making sure if someone is stocking up on ammunition, they're buying different gun products or whatever, is shown on a credit card statement. Okay. Sorry, can you hear me now? Is that okay? All right. So you heard about the two bills, right? And then we also are from New York State Assembly. I'm the co-chair of the Anti-Gun Violence Committee, and we fought to co-chair with Senator Zelno Murray. We are going to get another $5 million to reduce gun violence. That's going to be directed to the city, which goes to DYCD to bolster the work of cure violence and anti-violence. We are partnering with New York State Department of Labor. We are doing a job fair on October 24th, 1 to 4 on Tilden and Utica Avenue. The flyers in the back. We are going to, so this is for National Disability Awareness Month. So if someone has disabilities, make sure you come. If you don't have disabilities, still come. All right. So we want to make sure that we have people that is coming and utilizing those services. We still have Housing Thursdays from 11 to 2. We are doing our monthly Vital Voice meeting. It's going to be at Winthrop campus with the Middle School of Media and Law and Finance, along with Sesame Flyers. So this is going to be a very robust meeting. It's from 1 to 4. We're going to be covering a lot of different topics. The council member did speak about the topic with Bethany houses. So with the New York State, we do have a part to play in that. We want to make sure there's flyers in the back that tells you how to apply, who can apply, the deadline, and we want to make sure that people apply. It's a lottery, and what's happening is other people from other areas are applying, and it drowns out the voices here. So we need to make sure, as the council member said, we're working with them to make sure all the older adult centers are making sure we're talking to the churches. October 31st is around the corner, and they, of course, released this without giving myself, the council member, a lot of notice. So that's why the deadline was able to be extended. So we want to make sure it's right there on 40th and Avenue D. Y'all may have seen it being constructed. Please make sure that we spread this word wide and far. So there's going to be a presentation on Saturday, October 19th at Winthrop campus about the Bethany Senior Terrace houses. And we are also doing registration right there to sign people up for the application. So send people there, the flyers in the back. Also, what we're going to be talking about on this Saturday is about housing, just cause eviction, but we also are going to be talking about the proposals on the ballots, right? There's 6 proposals. There's a lot of conversation around that. There's a lot of distractions that's happening, but what tends to happen as the distractions are going and then we don't know what we're voting for, not only just for the president and all the positions, but also those proposals. So there will be a presentation on that as well. So I just want to make sure that we'll do updates. I want to shout out to JL. Shout out to you. There's a Utica Crescent project for Vital Brooklyn. My girl fought people, not physically, because she doesn't physically fight people, to make sure when it comes to the MWBEs. I heard that we got 2 contracts, and we'll talk more. We're going to work on that. But also when it comes to making sure people get certified, making sure there's jobs that's going to our community members, there's flyers in the back for that as well. So we'll get updates on that as well at this meeting. Please make sure October 26th is the last day to register to vote, to be able to vote in November 5th. And please take the flyers in the back. And I know it's late, so I will end there, but I just want to thank you for this time. October 19th, this Saturday, 1 o'clock, please, please, please tell everyone Winthrop campus so we could get this very important information. Thank you so much for your time, and bye. Blessings.
Thank you. Again, if you have questions for any of the representatives, please ask them in the back. Thank you. I have, is Catherine? Go ahead. Yes. Go ahead.
Good evening, all. This is just a very important reminder. Due to the time constraints we're experiencing because we are over time at this meeting, I have to maintain that remaining speakers have a hard limit of 2 minutes. So if you do see me make this motion, please do wrap up what you're saying. Otherwise, I may have to come over to the microphone and politely cut you off. So please do honor the time. Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I promise I will definitely be quick. As it was mentioned before, first of all, I'm Catherine Duckett. I'm your community board liaison from the Brooklyn Borough President's Office. As it was mentioned before, this October is Domestic Violence Month, and on Tuesday, October 8th, BP Reynoso organized a resource fair to help victims and survivors of domestic violence at the steps of Borough Hall. He was partnered by Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez, the NYC Mayor's Office to End Domestic and Gender-Based Violence, and the local community, and many local community-based organizations and nonprofits. As also was mentioned, the deed theft prevention workshop happened yesterday, and it was at the Medgar Evers College. There was many people that came out, and a lot of the homeowners learned a lot about ways to protect themselves from deed theft and scams. We were partnered by Brooklyn Legal Services and Grow Brooklyn. And also, the next upcoming event is October 31st, is the New York State liquor license. The link was emailed to the board members by Bianca Stevenson. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Borough Hall Community Board.
Thank you. Dan, I think Dan, Ms. Lewis spoke for you, right? We're good? Thank you. Jeffrey, is he still here? Severe? Ayana Williams? Oh, Jeffrey, you're right here. Ayana, you're next. If Ayana here. Where's Ayana? You're next. Followed by Charlene, followed by Renee, and then Dalton. Well, Dalton, December woman already spoke. Oh. What's your name? I don't have you on my list, that's why. I don't know, I can't see today. Porsche's.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for your patience. Also, congratulations to all the business owners who were approved, and also for John H. Bunyan Way and good work done at Erasmus Hall High School over the years. Be very brief. My name is Jeffrey Sevier. I'm representing the Office of New York City Public Advocate Jemani D. Williams. Woo! A longtime council member of this district. I would also just like to flag that, last week was Fire Prevention Week, and temperatures are dropping, so a lot of folks are going to start using space heaters. Please be mindful about how you do that. I also want to mention that, of course, it is, as the chair so eloquently mentioned earlier, that it is, again, Domestic Violence Awareness Day, so you'll see a lot of purple around. Also flagging how the deputy inspector mentioned that domestic violence is up in our community and something for us to continuously remain vigilant about. I would also, our team is joining the New York City Breast Cancer Awareness Walk this Sunday. So if you'd like to join us, please follow up with me. I'll be in the back. I would also like to just thank you all for your patience and renewed commitment to community and always staying this late, because there are very few of us here, but I look and I see very dedicated community members, especially you, sir, who I've seen come very committed to this meeting continuously, and very, very pleased by your commitment. Thank you all for your time. Go Mets.
All right, thank you. All right, so just to go over the votes, while the member employees coming up, the Pimento got 24 in favor of their license, 3 noes, and 5 abstentions. John Bunyan, co-naming, 27 yes, 1 no. Hyde, 27 yeses, 1 abstention, 1 no. Gulaks, 27 yeses, 3 noes. And TLC got 26 yeses. Okay. You could go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ayana Williams. I'm the Chief of Staff for Councilmember Darlene Mealy. Our office is located at 400 Rockaway Avenue. I'm going to make a couple of quick announcements. Tomorrow, we will be having our town hall meeting. It's going to be at Van Dyke Community Center, which is located at 392 Blake Avenue in Brownsville, and that's going to be from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Beyond that, we're going to have our community advisory board meeting that we have every month. And that's going to be right here in East Flatbush at PS 268, which is going to be at 133 East 53rd Street from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And again, that's going to be Saturday, October 26th. As always, on Tuesdays, we have someone in our office that's a housing specialist. On Wednesdays, first and third Wednesday, we do a food pantry. Second and fourth Wednesday, we have a Housing Connect representative that helps people with the Housing Connect system.
On Thursdays, we do immigration. We have 2 free lawyers. As a matter of fact, next week, that's going to switch over to Mondays. You can always contact our office for more information and to make appointments for the various services. Our number is 718-953-3097. Thank you.
Thank you. Next. Next.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Renee. I am here on behalf of Assemblywoman Latrice Walker in the 55th Assembly District. Our office is at the same location, 400 Rockaway Avenue, second floor, ring the top bell. So we represent you if you're between East 98th Street and Rockaway Parkway, down to Linden Boulevard up to East New York Avenue. So those 6 blocks is what we have of CB 17. Legislation-wise, the governor signed a bill earlier this month that the Assembly members sponsored to expand prenatal care in New York, which was Bill number A2656, which allowed pregnant women to enroll in the state's health exchange at any time without penalty. The member also sits on the Housing Committee in the Assembly. So today the governor was actually here in Brooklyn to also announce the creation of 71,000 New York City apartments, including 21,000 of those are supposed to be affordable units due to 421A deadline extension. We have our advisory board meeting every 3rd Saturday. So that's coming up this Saturday, October 19th. It is both in person at our office, 400 Rockaway Avenue. Starts at 10 a.m. It is also virtual on the Assembly members' Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Real Latrice Walker. You can always call our office if you have any questions, 718-342-1256. Lastly, she is the chair of the Election Law Committee in the Assembly. So, of course, November 5th is the general election, and the last day to apply online, by mail, or in person is October 26th. So that's known as Golden Day, where you can register to vote as well as vote on the same day. So we're having a day of action. That's October 26th. And if you would like to sign up to volunteer for that, that's via the NAACP's website. So Brooklyn, NAACP.org/golden-day-volunteer. And lastly, don't forget to flip over your ballot. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Portia?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Portia Edwards. I'm the District Director for State Senator Zelna Mary's office. I'll remove my hat so you can see my face. To have a few updates. This month, on the 2nd of October, the governor has finally signed our NYCHA utilities bill, which requires NYCHA to provide regular communication updates to residents of the expected duration of any gas outages and the steps being taken to restore services. So that was passed this October. A couple of events that we're having this month. Next Tuesday on the 22nd, we're doing our annual district tour where we will be giving away Empire Awards to businesses in the district, deserving businesses in the district, and visiting schools, sites, historical sites within the district. That will be next Tuesday on the 22nd. We are doing a youth summit on the 29th. It is around and involving voting, so getting our youth involved in voting at a very young age. Right now, you can register, you can pre-register at 16 so that when you turn 18, you are already registered. So we are doing that. It's going to be at the Brooklyn Children's Museum on October 29th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. If you need more information, you can just call the office about how you can get a youth involved. And at that event, there will be a panel with youth organizations there and with some community members. We are doing a DMV mobile unit on October 30th throughout the district. If you know anyone who needs to update their DMV records or needs to get an ID, please feel free to reach out to the office and we'll give you the exact location for the DMV mobile unit. Our office is located at 1077 Nostrand Avenue, and the telephone number for the office is 718-284-4700. I just have a comment on these meetings. Can we please try to move the legislative session up? There are only members here. There's like maybe 3 community members that are not members on the board hearing these legislative updates. And it's very frustrating that we sit through the entire meeting to get to this point and no one actually gets these updates. I know it does get sent out via email and that's fine, but at the point of 10:30 at night, I feel like I say this every meeting, the point we get to at 10:30 at night, it's very frustrating.
So
Yeah.
I will answer that and we'll bring it back to the board. However, it was up further in the meeting, but what we find is that the legislators need to hear what the community has to say. And generally, when they give their report, they leave. So that's why it was moved out.
I totally agree with you. I definitely leave after I give my update at most other community boards, but that's because we end on time.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Shirley?
Testing, testing. Hi, everybody. I'm Shirlene Harold. I work with the Office of Assemblymember Rodney Spashat Hermelin. Our office is in the heart of Brooklyn on Foster and Flatbush. I just wanted to tell you about some upcoming events. I won't take too long. I will go off script. But October 24th, Thursday, we're having a domestic violence awareness event at the Sun River Health Center. So that's at 2351 Bedford Avenue, and it's from 6 to 8. Secondly, on October the 25th, the next day at 6 p.m., we're going to have a Breast Cancer Awareness Month workshop, and that's going to be at Morris Heights Health Center. You can hear me okay? Okay. And then the last thing, I think they reiterated, Little Haiti BK said it, but we're going to have a Pace University Small Business Development Center. So this is going to be the second workshop at the office, one-on-one counseling. You get a whole hour. You get to talk about financial counseling, business planning, marketing, anything that you want. I really encourage you to sign up. You have to go to the Pace link. Please sign up for the newsletter. For the members newsletter, and then you can get the link for Pace, or you can email me. I have my card here. You can email me anytime and I'll send you the link myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Anne, are you still on? Andrea? Anne? Okay. See none? Any new special report, board members? Go ahead.
Good evening, JL James. The record will show that at the last board meeting, the secretary misspoke when he said the website, the community's website had not been updated in 2 years. I brought it to his attention. He acknowledged it was an error. It was incorrect. He said he would be here this evening to apologize, but he's not here. So I want the record to be very clear for tonight's meeting that the website was worked on arduously by the former communications chair, Tamara Thomas, and it was an incorrect statement that the board's website has not been updated in 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Portia, you forgot something? Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. One really important thing that I forgot to mention. So I know the governor's office was up here earlier talking about the community advisory board meeting for the SUNY downstate stuff. Our office sent a letter to the governor on October 8th, and we have not gotten a full response on the timeline of when this meeting is going to happen. The same as Debbie spoke to us earlier, there's no date. We only have 2 weeks left in this month, and we don't have a date on the Community Advisory Board meeting or anything of the sort. So I think that it's very important that we keep pushing to get that information so that we can fight and advocate for this hospital and our community as we should continue to do. So while we got some updates from the governor's office, we still don't have a date, a hard set date or timeline on when the Community Advisory Board meeting is going to happen. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other special report, board members? Any unfinished business? Everyone, please be certain to attend this Sunday to support the community board of this event. Okay, Saturday, did I say Sunday? I said Sunday again? Oh, boy, having a long week. All right, on Saturday, yes, Chair, Member Viante. Step to the mic.
We formally announce the votes for everything we voted on tonight?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I must have just missed it. Sorry.
Okay. Please do support on Saturday on Utica Avenue between Church and Linden. Please, everyone, just sign in for a couple of seconds, show up and say hello. With that being said, there are no more unfinished business. Please do go out, celebrate, bring light to breast cancer awareness and domestic violence. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn from Ms. Luo. Did I get it right? All right. And second, Ms. Viante. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Nay. I want to stay here longer. Good night. And thank you, Ms. Wilkinson. I was going to suggest that you make the signs a little bigger though, because they're hard to read.